but it's all right.
Thank you. We are here at today's Community Redevelopment Agency meeting, 4 o'clock, December 16th. Call this meeting to order. Ms. Tanner, can you lead us to the pledge? Rise to the pledge.
I'm not sure.
No pressure. Perfect. Right there.
No pressure.
You got it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Looking for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Berry, and a second by Mr. Ben Merrill. Mr. Berry, any further comments?
Nope.
Mr. Merrill? Anybody else? Mr. Jeter?
I do have a comment. I was going to say that I love this new format of all the detailed items out agenda. So whoever was responsible for that, thank you. I like it.
Yes, very laid out, very specific, good stuff. Anybody else, any comments? All right, let's go to vote. All right, motion passes 6-0. Item 4, approval of minutes. Looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Jeter, second by Mr. Berry. Mr. Jeter, any further comments about the minutes?
No, sir.
Mr. Berry?
No.
Anybody else have any comments, questions about the minutes before we go to a vote? All right, let's go to a vote. All right, passes 6-0. My favorite part of the meeting, public comments. Anything that's not on the agenda from the public that wants to discuss any business regarding the Community Redevelopment Agency. All right.
Can I read it?
This is your time, absolutely.
A little bit of a subject that's been bothersome. This year downtown, we've had no Christmas decorations. And I think that's kind of embarrassing for Fort Walton Beach downtown not to have Christmas decorations. And I just wanted to ask, and I think I understand why that is, technically, but how do we ensure that that never happens again? I mean, truly don't take this as a complaint. I just want to bring it up because people are talking about it and it's kind of important.
I mean, could we always have more Christmas decorations? It's, I mean, a great time of year. But
No, this is like, we don't have anything on the poles or anything downtown. Vandergrift Park has nothing. The landing has, of course, the tree, but there's nothing that indicates that it's Christmas downtown if you're on Miracle Strip. And also in the new Vandergrift Park.
Besides
And we've
the
had that in the
trees.
past. We always have had at least cheesy tinsel around the lampposts.
A lot of Christmas lights wrapped around the palm trees.
Yeah, but that's standard now, you know, everybody loves that, that's year-round, so that's the lighting.
So the comment is we need to have
Yes, how
more
do we ensure that this
Christmas
doesn't
decorations.
happen again in 2026?
Any further comments or responses to that on more Christmas decorations in 2026? Mr. Jeter?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to ensure that never happens again, but what I will say is I certainly support more Christmas decorations downtown somehow, some way.
Thank you.
Hopefully, it falls in line with the landing getting completed, and we kind of now have a clear-cut path of some good areas we can do some nice Christmas decorations for next year. I think when we did the year-round Christmas lights, we talked about expanding on that if they worked. I think they did work. Everybody loved them. So I'm hoping that we can start, and I think the way to ensure that that doesn't happen is let's put on our calendar in June to start talking
Thank
about this
you.
again. Let's not wait till
Excellent.
October
Yeah.
to say, can we do more? Because then you can't order it, you can't get it.
I
So,
appreciate
you know,
that.
a lot of businesses have Christmas in July sales. Let's have a Christmas in
Uh-huh.
July talk so that we can make sure we get some stuff
Well,
ordered next year.
I just honestly, I see the businesses downtown, they're spending their own money to make it look nice and to do what they can, but I'd really like to see the city step up in that case a little bit more and make it look nicer. And especially we're a main thoroughfare. So thank you for this, I appreciate it, and June is a good idea.
Noted. All right, any other? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious to know, since it's downtown, if it's a CRA district, is there any way that we would have any fundings available to make certain that we do have the decor at Christmas?
That's part of the rub, right? So as we navigate process improvement, the CRA fund's not supposed to be for Christmas trees
Okay.
and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But what I did talk to Ms. Candace about was beefing up our parks budget next year for this sort of thing exactly, or putting it under a contractor that can do all of that, including the tree that we apparently own, that I don't particularly care to be in the Christmas tree business, but I'd rather outsource that sort of thing and just have it under a contract. So that's going to start, we're going to start the budget process in January, and that's on the to-do list.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's good. Thank you for bringing that up, Ms. Tanner. Good conversation on that. Any more comments before we move on? Anybody else from the public? All right, seeing none. Item 6, project updates. Informational only. We're going to start at 6.1. Ms. Alicia.
Well, good afternoon. It's good seeing everybody again. I appreciate it. So I do have, of course, some updates, and we've got some other things we're going to cover through here. I'm first going to start off with the biannual pressure washing that we had talked about. The one we did downtown has been completed. We did do a brief, quick one to try to get the area cleaned up. And I had talked to you about doing a biannual and doing it spring and fall. I'm working on the scope of work. I just want confirmation from y'all that y'all are okay with just doing 2 a year and doing it in the early spring and early fall to get ready for the season. So that's the main thing I wanted from y'all today, so I can move forward with completing the scope of work.
Mr. Berry.
I have a question. What does that entail, the pressure washing? Is it just the sidewalks, or how about the businesses? And
Yeah,
because
no,
we
good-
just had pressure washing at the Gulf View.
Yeah, no, good question. So it is the Miracle Strip, Brook Street block circle area. And of course, when the landing's done, it will be that sidewalk area and that entrance to the landing. It's also going to be over in Heritage Park by the museum, and in the library, the walkway areas over there. As for doing businesses, that's not something we generally do. I generally do cleaning for the public areas that the city is responsible for. So yes, and I appreciate you asking that question, because I did forget we are including Heritage Park area, and I've met with Gail, and when there's some stuff that is going to need to be done maybe once every 2 or 3 years to remove mold and stuff, and then there's some we've mapped out to every once a year, and then some twice a year. So that process is going to be completed with actual specifics in the scope of work, but right now it's just that area. If y'all want me to address other areas, that's what we're here for, is to find out what y'all want.
I agree to start with that area.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Can't make notes without any pen. So, is there any other areas y'all would like for me to add? It's Brook Street, Miracle Strip, north and west, west and eastbound, both sides. Perry, right there in front of the school. And then, of course, when the bridge is done, we'll go on down there and do that area. And then, of course, the library and the Heritage Park area. And Gulfview Park, Gulfview Hotel is kind of, to me, a given. But I will make sure that's added in there. Get that building cleaned regularly, because that is our building.
These are informational purposes, right, Ms. Alicia? Are you looking for
If y'all have
Some
any problems
feedback.
with what I presented, then no. But if y'all want me to add anything or add any dates, then of course. Otherwise, I'm just making sure there's nothing y'all want to add to this before I finish the scope of work.
I think it's a good start. I mean, I think last time we've gone through, pressure washing services is 2022, and this gets a frequency put together, and we can always modify the scope as the program develops, so.
Yeah, would y'all prefer I do a 1 or 3 year contract where it's reviewed every year? Is that how y'all would like me to do it? Like the groundskeeping, what we've got is 3-year, and it's reviewed every year to make sure they're doing the work.
Mr. Jeter?
I would say 1 year. Let's see how good they do.
Okay.
And then we might do it higher frequency. We might add some areas to it.
Okay.
Or we might change contractor. But I'd say 1 year.
Do a 3-year with renewals. You don't have to do the whole 3 years. You do a renewal if you like them. That way you don't have to start the whole process over, so if you want.
So lock them in for 3 years, but we choose to renew at the end of every year.
At the end of the year to see,
Yeah, and what we'll do to ensure that, and we'll make notes and make records that if they're not doing a good job, we will take pictures, we'll do inspections, and we'll make sure that that is noted. So when the renewal comes up after the end of the year, we've got yay or nay, and I can present y'all with information if they're doing a good job or they're not. We need to move on to another contract.
Perfect. Can't wait to see it.
Okay.
All right, 6.2.
Anything else? And I'll let you know when I need a slide. Okay, thank you. All right, the next one is a gateway entrance project. It is scheduled to start installation tomorrow. They will be putting up, they've got to do some prep work, as in get the scaffolding and the boom and all that. And then Thursday, they're actually going to be putting the sign in. And Friday, they're going to go back and connect it and do the electrical work. I've talked to Devin. He's going to try to get some pictures of the process. And then we'd like to schedule a time for the community to come out and for y'all to come out to actually get a final kind of a ribbon cutting, picture, something just to say, here it is, it's done, yay. And I really think it's going to be beautiful. But it is a 3-day process, and they are starting tomorrow, I think afternoon. They've got to get the boom and all that set up.
Mr. Berry?
Let me refresh my memory and the public's also. Is the gateway sign that we're talking about there at that point where the Gulf View is located?
Yes, ma'am. That's
Or where the 3 crosses used to be? Is that?
That is where the Gulf View is, in that little corner there, where we've got the big paddle boat, and they just put the pavers in. All the pavers are done, and that's where the area will go.
Okay,
And it'll be complete, Lord, Saturday. That's Friday.
Good, thank you.
afternoon. Okay.
Any more comments or feedback you need from that, Ms. Alicia? Are you good?
I'm good, if y'all are okay.
6.3.
Okay. All right, so I want to talk to you about the Brook Street lighting project, and that would be the slide 2 and 3, if you would. I'll let you. So this is the lights that I've talked to y'all about replacing downtown. It's those old white ones. Several reasons I'd like to replace them. One, I just don't think they fit the aesthetics of what we're going with the downtown area, especially after the downtown design guidelines were established. These poles just do not fit. Plus, the way they are, they yell, put stickers on me, and they're white and they get dirty really easy. So if y'all look to the right on there, that's there is what Florida Power and Light has established to go on Brook Street when they finish the bridge down there at the bottom at Brook Street Park and coming up that little first section of Brook Street. So this is what they're going to be putting down there. We want to match that all throughout Brook Street and all throughout, and there's a map on the next page. If you'll go to that, just so you can see it, we'll go back to this one. You see all those spots? Those are all the lights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there is 122. Yeah, there's 122. Initially in y'all's paperwork it said 135. I went down there and put my eyeballs on them and counted them and marked them. So there's some that have been moved and some that have been, maybe had problems and were moved, not replaced. So I counted several times, 122 of them, and I have marked them on this map. I would like to request that maybe 4 more go in Vandergrift Park. In that area, there's little insets in Vandergrift Park that I think would be great to put 2 on each side, if we can get them in there. So we're looking at a total of 126 lights that we've got to fund to put in there. You can go back to the previous slide, please. So those are going, I thought I had a price up there. My apologies. We don't have a definite price on them. We are trying to get the pricing. Florida Power and Light's help. I'm working with them on that. This is going to be an expensive project. We've got, we don't have, it is funded in the budget. We may have to do that in phases based on the funding and phase it out this year and next year. We're not 100% sure what the total price of those are. Now, the pole is a concrete pole, which stickers should not stick to the concrete pole, but you know, people who are very willing may let it, but that's the exact same lights that are going on Brook Street.
Mr. Jeter.
You say you don't have, you say it's an expensive project, but you don't know the exact. What are you thinking per pole? When you've priced them before in the past, what are they?
To be honest, I put it in the budget, and I did not write that in here, so I'm not going to pretend like I know.
I'm with you.
I'm thinking it's about 150,000 was what I put in there for this, but it's probably going to cost more than that because we weren't anticipating, when I first initially counted them, I counted it about 30.
Yeah.
So when I put the money in for the budget, we'll do whatever's in the budget for it this year. I'll do as many as I can. I would like to target the Brook Street area in that downtown area first, and then we can move north based on the funding. We will have to fund it some more next year.
I love a lot of things on this list, the pressure washing, some of that kind of stuff. Me personally, I don't know where the rest of the board up here sits on this. I personally like the white one better than the antique looking one.
Yeah.
Second, until the bridge gets done and we actually see their lights go in place, couple that with the next few years before that's done, we'll be a few years further ahead with around the mound to really know what streets we are lighting up. I don't know where the rest of the board sits on this, but me personally, I wouldn't waste a lot of time on this project. I would table this one for a few years. If any lights are out, let's replace the bulbs like we did in Ferry Park years ago. Because we went around Ferry Park and replaced the bulbs rather quickly, and it made a huge difference. And we didn't spend, I think it was $220,000.
Lit it up.
But it was like 220 grand to redo all the poles, and we just spent a few $1,000s on new LED lights. So if any of them are out, I would say replace them for sure. But I don't know if I would go undertaking, we're kind of at a point where like, let's tackle some things on our to-do list before we start another to-do list. If we haven't started this yet, we'll see where everybody else is. That's my personal thought on this agenda item.
And I would like to add something to that though. Now, and we can, like I said, this is what y'all are here for, to tell me what projects y'all want me to pay attention to. So if y'all want me to table this, I'm fine with that. We will have to start considering doing regular pressure washing of those poles because they get dirty very quickly. So I would have to include those in on the downtown pressure washing, which I can. I've had it done. We've done that. But those do get dirty very quickly. And that's one reason I was wanting to replace them because of the project, and we're trying to get a nice design downtown, but we can do that. I can leave them there, and we can include that in the pressure washing, if y'all would prefer that.
Y'all can make a motion on that too.
Nicole, I imagine that's under capital.
The actual lights, they would be under capital, but if it's in CRA, it doesn't matter. The charter amendment doesn't affect that.
Okay, yeah, the charter amendment as well as too, just how, obviously through a budget amendment, but other things that could be funded if we did not put attention on this after the presentation. Mr. Berry?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 175, Tim looked it up.
Yeah. Pressure washing. I've been talking to people that pressure wash, like the Gulf View Motel and all that. And may I suggest twice a year versus just once a year with all the traffic and all?
Yeah, that's what was in there, was biannual, twice a year.
Did you say twice a year?
And once in the fall.
Yeah, because I personally, along with some others, hand washed the Gulf View a few years ago.
Yeah, and that's why we got the pressure washing in there. We want to have, I don't want to just do it as needed once it gets too dirty and it draws attention. I want to do it regularly prior to the seasons, the hot season. So yes, so y'all make a motion if y'all want me to move forward with this project or table it and use the funds elsewhere.
Yeah,
Move on. I think we've already told one of the business owners that we're going to replace all these. I don't know what else is out down there, but the Vandergriff it is dark. So if we're just going to replace the ones that are out, I think adding a few in that area would bring some value just from a septet perspective.
Are you talking about, excuse me, are you talking about that area of Vandergrift, the easement?
Camellia Garden is, I'm not sure I can say that.
We're going to
It's
actually look at
pretty dark.
Yeah.
So just, I prefer if we're just going to replace a few to add some in the septet soft spots.
And if y'all want me to add those white ones, where we want to add the other ones, That's for y'all to tell me. You direct me what you want me to do, what direction you want me to
I
go.
make a motion to replace any broken ones with the existing and add some in Vandergrift Park or anywhere that we have missing to update them, but do not create a new project scope.
Second. Right, any more additional comments on that, Mr. Jeter?
No, but I also want to say this isn't a kick the can or a table it. I'm with Mr. Davis. This is still spend some money and redo the lighting where it's needed. Let's just not redo all of downtown when we really don't know the layout of downtown yet.
Yeah, it's a good call. I think we'd waste a few, if you will, or just have new shelf stock once we get to take them down. So it's a good call.
Yeah.
Any more comments? Go ahead with the question, we'll do it.
On the lighting? The white lighting, so what is the length of time they have been in the downtown area? Is it 25 years, is it 30
I
years,
honestly,
do
that
you
was
know?
way
or-
before I
Yeah,
got
they
here.
look original. They look original.
They've been here a while. They've been here a good while. I can't tell you when. I wasn't here. I don't know. I didn't even research that. I just know they've been here for a very long time.
The Vandergrift has been about 30 years, that little park there.
Yeah. When she's talking about those big white lights. And
Oh, yeah, the white lights.
white lights,
The white
yeah.
lights.
Oh, okay, yeah, the white lights. I don't-
Curious to know how, the length of time.
Yeah. Oh,
I can research that and find out, but honestly, I can tell you it's been a long time. I don't know exactly when.
Any more comments or questions, Mr. Merrill?
Yeah, I definitely agree where we don't have lights too, like that being a priority. I'm biased down Brook Street. I see Ms. Candace, a bunch of other residents when we have events at the landing. So to get lights where we don't have lights first, I would make a suggestion though, if we have pretty good intel that the new lights are going to be of that design that you,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what I-
I would be okay with kind of move, if we're putting in new lights in the next couple of years, we may match that design that they're doing. I mean, do we want to put the old white ones that we might not even be able to truly match, or do we want to kind of move forward with the ones we're potentially going to, like, save some money, like preemptively put in the new design where you're putting in new lights, and then down the road, if we bring that whole design, then we're not replacing brand new ones we put in. I think we should consider that.
Mr. Jeter?
I think that's a great idea. I would totally agree with that. If we want to amend the motion, we can do that. The two reserves I have on that is one, let's see the price difference in the two and make sure. And then three, I'd actually like to see FPL and FDOT put that light in. And what I mean by that is I know they can tell you all that, but until it's actually there, it's kind of like every other government project in my opinion. Until I see it, I don't believe it. And I'm up here, but I'm telling you, I still don't believe it until I see it.
Yeah.
That's just what I've learned.
And like I said, that's fine, if y'all want to wait till the brook, till all that's completed. But I will say, if we're going to put these lights, so you suggest to put these lights in where Vandergrift Park is, or where some are missing, and not the white ones? Because if we do that, that's kind
Well,
of...
the good thing is Vandergrift Park is kind of a standalone park
Yeah,
on its
it
own
is.
anyway. And actually, that black antique light matches Vandergrift Park with
Okay.
the old brick and this and that. So for sure there, do the new updated FPL lights they're telling you they're going to use. I would support that 100%.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or here's another option, if y'all want, since you said you're not sure, and you don't trust that that's what they're putting in. I will say, we communicated with them and they agreed, and that's what they have. But like you said, things change. We could instead put the same lights in there that we're putting in at the landing, that are those exact matching lights that are at the landing. So even if we do those others, they'll still match the landing lights, which are the same ones that are at Sound Park and the same ones that are going in at Chester Pruitt.
And your scope of work doesn't include the landing, so the landing lights are staying.
Yeah, they're staying. So
They're staying,
I'm
so
not
that's-
changing those because those are
And
neat.
Vandergrift kind of flows into the landing, so maybe we do that, match the landing, and
Match
then
the
we don't
landing
have
lights.
I just don't want to put in something
that we're going to take out.
that's over $1,000 a light. We put in 20, 30, whatever lights,
Yeah.
and then we go 5 years from now, like, no, let's keep it. Yeah, I agree. That's our commitment, is to go with those lights, and that's fine.
So are y'all want to do what you got to do to tell me to do the Vandergrift Park lights to match the landing lights, and leave the white ones that are there, but replace broken ones or missing ones? I will say I will do a lighting analysis downtown, a SEPTED lighting analysis, to actually pinpoint the dark areas to see if there's some that might be needed.
But that's what takes so long.
what
And we
was-
just, like, we don't need to do that for Vandergrift Park. We're gonna put the lights in next week,
I'm
right?
talking about, but I'll do
Yeah.
a septic analysis for.
Those analysis words scare me, because that means it's a year from now. Like,
No.
we still wanna put lights in.
Now, when I do a septic analysis, I get one night, and I go with my meter, and Officer Bags goes with me, and we actually notate what lights are out, where it's dark, and we get the distance of, like, if it's 30 feet and it's too dark, then a light needs to go here. That's what the septic analysis is.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So you're making a motion, and then whoever seconded it agrees to the amendment.
I made my motion to accept Councilman Merrill's request.
Second. Yeah, good conversation. To add my comment, I love that we're diving into the weeds with lights, and really want to commend you, Alicia, for, like Mr. Jeter mentioned with Ferry Park and other parks that David and others are doing analysis on currently to really light it up, because some of the parks are needing lights and creates blindness. And this is a conversation right now on the lighting project in downtown, the CRA, but thank you for bringing these individualized projects that in the CRA environment, we can really drill in a little bit deep to give you and staff the support that y'all need to keep moving forward. So that's my comment. Any other comments? Logan?
I've just said, at the next meeting, is there any way you can bring back how much each light actually is, so we know how much we're spending on and how many we're going to replace versus out of that $500,000 that we're not going to use?
100%, I will bring back, and I'll hopefully have the scope.
Well, it's still gonna have to go out to bid, so the cost, we can get an estimate on the cost.
Right.
We won't get the exact cost until we do put it out to bid for the exact number of lights we're gonna be doing out there.
So what I will be doing is doing the scope of work and getting it ready and putting it out for bid. We should hopefully by then have the bid process on how much it will cost. I can get estimates if y'all want white versus the other, or I can just put the bid out there to do all of the lights, replace them, put the ones in Vandergrift Park. And that was my way I was talking to y'all, and what I'm getting from y'all, that one scope of work will cover all the lights we want to put down there, replace, fix, and install. That's how I was thinking about working it.
And that summary of the amended motion, and again, y'all push back, Board, of just trying to give staff clarity so that we can move forward, is replacing the ones that aren't working so we can line it up. The Vandergrift install new lights that go with the landing. And is that what your understanding is of the scope? So that brings us back whenever it has to go out to bid and those kind of things, we're all on the same page.
My preference would be to have the scope of work ready with the estimates in it. If y'all are okay with that, then it'll be ready to send out the bid at that time in February. If y'all okay with that.
Mr. Berry?
You mentioned FPL and their lighting. Is there a certain, forget the word, bulbs or adjusting lighting, electrical lighting or whatever?
Yeah, and you're correct. The thing about that is, can you pull that screen back up that's the light? If you'll notice the lights, the globe of it, there's not a light bulb in there. See the globe? The light is an LED light up underneath. That is a step-head approved light because you can't really bust it. You have to go to a lot of trouble to break that light. So that's why these are actually very good lights, and they light down instead of out and don't cause glare. And those are the step-head approved lightings that actually is the best for a sidewalk area and park area.
Yeah.
So there's not bulbs in there, they're LED globes.
Good. So no bulbs, so the little
You're correct. That's why I like this. There's no globe that's going to be in the middle of that. It's underneath the cap.
Okay.
It's where the light is.
Okay.
Mr. Jeter?
There's always one agenda item we get hung up on. This looks like it's going to be it tonight.
Oh, there'll be more, I'm sure.
And I'm with Councilman Browning. Bring us all this back. In February, we might say, you know what, just replace all 125 of them if they're only $1,000 and they can get it done in a month. My whole thought process for what I was trying to do is I see this project and I'm like, we won't get a light replaced for 2 years. Let's get lights replaced in 2 months. So just do Vandergrift Park and then fix the ones that are broken. Maybe 2 months from now, we all say, you know what, those are awesome. Let's roll with replacing all of them. Let's go. Let's make the, so just bring us back the data so we can make that decision. We are ready to spend money and put new lights out.
Now, and I want to clarify, I would like to go ahead, per y'all, what you're saying, go ahead and install the ones in Vandergrift Park.
Put
Get
them
that
up
done.
tomorrow.
The other ones, well, it takes more tomorrow. I wish. You gotta order them. There's a lot of.
I'll go pick 'em up.
I will work on them tomorrow. How's that? We'll start and work on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back in February with the process and everything else on the agenda. But I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with Vandergrift Park, and I'm actually going to work with our wonderful new Park and Rec director because he has that information. We'll go ahead and get that installed and get that done.
Yeah, because your motion's telling her, actually, that y'all made was to tell her to get started on it, and then, so, just for clarification. So.
All right, so we do have an amended motion, and we do have a second, so now we just need to go to a vote. All right, that motion passes unanimously. Now we have a wayfinding project.
Wayfinding project is going out for bid 18th. And the bid is going to be posted on the 18th. It's going out for bid. We'll be opening the bids that come in on January the 15th. And then we're anticipating date of completion at the end of June to have and that's phase one. That's your directional signs that are going there. That's going to be phase one. We budgeted $75,000 for that. And we're anticipating to need more for phase two, which will be the individual signs for the point of interest. And there's 2 gateway entrance signs we're going to put up. And the one at the end of Miracle Strip Parkway going west, our community meeting, input meeting, everybody kind of said, let's just clean that one up and make it look nicer. So, and we could do the exact same one at the other 2, but the design we've got out right now is that was what was in the wayfinding sign project that y'all got in your packet, and the information. I think y'all got in your packet. Y'all didn't, sorry.
Yeah, where are these signs, just to make sure we're on the same page?
They're scattered throughout the CRA. It's like we've already got some that have directional saying, police department here, but they're little. These are the real big ones. A few years ago, the city approved the wayfinding design guidelines, and all this information is from that project. And these are much bigger and more visible, and they'll be out throughout the area directing people to point of interest within the CRA.
Okay.
And that's going to be phase one that we're going to work on. We'll have to fund phase two.
Now we have, just to kind of drill in a little bit on this, and maybe it's not a topic for discussion, but just to try to give some staff clarity on seeing where our board's heads are at. I know we have some wayfinding signs currently out there that point to certain directions. Right now it's phase one, 75,000. How many phases do we have in wayfindings? I know we've done a study.
Yeah. I'm the one that did the phases because of funding.
Yeah, so what is the total funding, I guess, is what I'm backing into.
Well,
right now,
we're
75,000.
anticipating, and actually got back that we might, with the cost increases of things that may cost more than the 75 we have in the budget, we're looking at maybe 80,000, which if we're not going to do the lighting downtown, we can easily probably move that fund into this one and get both phases done. It's just based on funding that we were only going to do phase one. So we're anticipating 75 and ended up maybe 80 to 85 from what I've heard. So we may have to increase that. But if y'all want me, with the funds that we have extra left over from the previous that y'all canceled, we could move that and do both phases at one time.
No, if anything, I guess where I was trying to back into is seeing if there's an appetite, or at least for conversation, of signs, and this is expensive, and I know we've got signs out there, but I don't know what the design is as far as looking at it right now, but I mean, what are the objectives and the purpose of the signs, I guess is what I'm getting to. We have Google Maps and things like that to direct people, and very few people now these days are looking for signs to guide them to certain places. So without looking at the design of the sign, I love the sign that we're putting together for out in front of the Gulfview Motel. That's a very big, you're coming to downtown for Walton, and it has the branding. Just looking at kind of piggybacking off the last item, if we can use that money down the road, or not need to use the lighting money and not need to use the signage money. I know there's always capital projects and things our staff has that are racked and stacked that we can go after. I'm just not quite sure yet if this needs to be the project, and would like to hear any response or comments from the board.
100%. I think me personally, the bottom of the surfboard should have a QR code on it, and that's where everybody scans and it comes down, tells you where it is. And I only say that because you can go to malls now do it. The last convention I was at,
hotels and resorts, you scan a QR code, it maps out the whole thing on your phone. That's just me. If the city is telling us they want these beautiful signs and wayfinding, I could go the complete opposite way too and say, yes, we have money in the CRA account. Well, let's not phase 1, 2, and 3 out. Either get it all done tomorrow or don't do it. I could go either way. I personally don't use them. I don't think anyone younger than me uses them, but I don't want to not do them if someone wants them.
Yeah, and I said wayfinding signs are more of an aesthetic appeal for cities. And when you go in cities, it's like, oh, go this direction. It's just like when you got banners and you got decorative poles. It's just more of an aesthetic thing. Is it something that's needed nowadays? Probably not. But it is something that is used aesthetically, and some people do use them. Not everybody uses. Right now, not everybody does use their GPS. You've got a lot of people that are retired that don't even.
Yeah, and please don't take this as it's a bad project. I guess where my head's at is without looking at staff's priority list of the strategic plan of all the capital improvement projects that we're going after, whether it's beautification or all the things, right? I just don't know without looking at those other priorities where this sits. And I know with roughly $150,000 for this project, it probably wouldn't be my number one it wouldn't be at the top of the priority with those other things that we need to address.
What we can do if you want is, so it's already scheduled to go on to bid, starting on Thursday. Opening is going to be on January 15th, like she said. What we can do at that point is if you want, we can come back in February with what that bid is going to be. We're going to know the exact amounts on it, and we can bring you back the details and stuff so you can really see what we're talking about with these things, what the signs are going to be, where they're going to be, and then you can make your decision at that point in time whether or not we move forward on it.
Let's do that. Let's do that as well as too, as we prepare for that meeting, it'd be nice to have just some of those funding requests that didn't make it in the budget this year that staff had, or other things that we're trying to address in the strategic plan that didn't make the budget, or, you know, what other things that could be funded as we prepare for making a decision. I like exactly what you said. It gives us a good idea of what the true cost is. It can still go out to bid and move forward, but there's still a decision that can be made in February. So, all right. Any other comments? Mr. Davis.
If we're getting out of the wayfinding sign business, I'd like to put the project to take down the ones that we currently have because some of them are kind of crusty.
Yeah.
So just want to keep that on the radar.
Yeah, let's add that as a radar reminder in February for discussions, that if we are going to that route and the board decides not to approve the bid, let's go ahead and remove in Mr. Davis's words that I like, that I don't like the crusty signs, but we're trying to beautify the city, we're trying to light it up and make it better. Please don't take this as a project as we don't like. It's just there's so many priorities and things that we're all trying to attack, and it's making progress.
No, I'm not offended.
Look,
I agree with everything. A bunch of new signs could beautify the city. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what comes back. But
For sure.
It could just be an aesthetic. Like you said, not a lot of people use it. It's just aesthetically pleasing, and it could just kind of be eye candy.
Every downtown, everywhere. So
Yeah. It's more of, here you're entering downtown, and here are our point of interest. And keeping people walking, it's just that, it's just more of an aesthetic. You're in the downtown area.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's also needs to light up areas that are really dark. There's also needs to spend money
100%.
taking out homeless encampments and things like that we all want to do. So yes, it beautifies it, and yes, a lot of downtowns have them. Our downtown has priorities that need to be addressed, and I like what Mr. Gibson said. Let's move forward with the bid. Let's evaluate that in February, and if we're not going to be in this wayfinding business, let's get the crusty signs out. We probably got an overpopulation of signs. The sign I hate the worst is out of our control with that no right turn on red when it's backing up Highway 98. We got signs everywhere. But yes, this does bring some beauty, and the subjectiveness of what beauty is. We could have a conversation until our 6 o'clock meeting about it, but really trying to get to the root of cleaning up the culture of adding lights where we need lights, and fixing the broken lights, and moving out these vagrant camps that y'all are doing, and public safety is doing a phenomenal job of ripping that Band-Aid off. Is kind of where my head's at before we go to the pretty polished, new signs. This is kind of.
Can y'all make a motion on that?
I'm all for the beautification as well. You're going to bring us back phase one, phase two, the complete project next. So if we decide to roll with all of them because we have the money in the budget, we're not doing you're gonna bring us
We'll do it all.
options? Okay.
We'll do it
Not
all.
just phase one, you're gonna bring us back all the options, so we can knock it all out.
Yeah.
Mayor, so move Mr. Gibson's recommendation that was just previously on the record.
Second.
All right. No further comments? All right, let's go to a vote.
Okay, next is Chester Pruitt Park.
We
I'm
gotta
sorry.
vote this
I'm sorry.
real quick.
I thought you said let's go.
All right, passes unanimously. Chester Pruitt Park.
Okay, this is a project that's been in process. We've done the stage to bring activity enhancers in. We're looking at the lighting. I did the lighting analysis and the septet analysis of the park. And this project is actually being managed now by Parks and Rec. So I want to just let you know they have come back with the funding and some of the quotes that they've gotten, and they're listed in here. We're wanting to upgrade, of course, the bathroom and the lights. The budget CRA has established that as $165,000. And if y'all have any questions on where we want to move forward, we had initially intended on tearing down the restroom, but we have determined, actually, Mr. David determined that we can actually fix those bathrooms up and clean them up for a lot less instead of tearing them down or completely gutting and redoing them. So next project on the list is fixing the lightings. It's not replacing all the lightings, we can just replace the globes, which is a lot cheaper, and get rid of all the glare that is on some of the building. We're gonna need to add some lights behind the building because it's completely dark back there. And that's what we've got on this project. I just wanted to update y'all on what's going on. If you have any more questions about the project, David's here to answer any questions.
Love this project.
One thing I'd like to add, though, some of the issues that we have, fix the bathrooms, get the doors that lock like we have at the Ferry Park, all good. Add the lighting. I'd like to add an electrical lag to control the phone charging. I mean, you drive by there any time of the day, there's 10, 15 people out there charging their phone. And while they're bored, they're getting in trouble and tearing stuff up, so. If that's not in that scope, I'd like to see that added.
Support.
100%. Every public outlet if possible.
Yeah, I've talked to Daniel about it, but this was specific to this particular project, and any project we going forward, that should be part of the regular design standard.
I have a question.
Mr. Berry.
For the parks, I keep asking, are we able to turn the electricity off remotely and include the bathrooms lock remotely also, or is it still?
So when you say they're not like a card access system where it's done from here, they're on a timer for those bathroom doors like we have at Ferry Park and I want to say Garner's Beach. But as far as adding like a Musco lighting or something like that, I don't know that we have. David, do you know? I don't think we do. And it's ridiculously expensive to add. We're just not there yet. But one day, it's a nice wish list.
Well, yeah, I keep asking as we improve Ferry Park and the landing and others, because they are using the electrical outlets.
Sure. Well, that's an easy fix with adding that one lag, but as far as adding remote lights through a company like that, it's
and the bathrooms and the vandalizing of the bathrooms.
That part's easy too, but it's not the card access system that you're thinking, but it'll address that. And then when we start talking millage, it's called plant a seed.
And possibly consolidating services. That's me politely pushing. All right, any other comments?
I'd like to make a comment. I'd certainly would like to say that the improvements at Chester Pruitt Park is well needed. It's well needed, and it's obvious. So my thing would be, I'm on the side of whatever we can do to, make better improvements to the park. I mean, it's a very important park in the city, and so many people, really, really have a lot of investment in, in the Chester Pruitt Park. And whatever we can do to make improvements, I am absolutely 100% for it. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. I will state this, that I met with Saving Our Legacy group, And we had a great meeting, and they requested certain cleanings before certain events, and we've communicated with that Park and Rec and promotion. They've been going out there and making sure the bathrooms are clean before certain events. So if there's any events or anything that you know we're going down there at a certain time, we've asked them to let us know, so we can make sure at least the bathrooms are clean at that time.
Yeah, the bathrooms they're not a pretty sight at all.
Yeah, well, no, they're going to be cleaned up, but at least we can, redone, but at least we can clean them. May not be able to look them pretty, but we at least want to clean them before the events until we can they're working real diligently to get the quotes and getting that ready to get the repairs done.
And some of those people that are plugging into that electrical outlet all day are also the ones messing up the bathrooms too. So looking forward to this getting improved and roughly 6 figures to getting more lighting and cleaner bathrooms and those kind of upgrades that, like Ms. Riley said, is a much needed improvement. So I'm fully supportive of this as well. Any further comments or feedback on this project? All right, I think you got the information you need.
Okay. The next project is, I want to review the work that was done next door at 121, 127, and 168 Coral Drive, which is next to this building, and between the City Hall and the hotel over there. Can you go to the slides for me? Sorry. Yes, that's the first one. So before, you can see on the left, that was what it looked like. It was a swampy area. We went over there, Tim and Jason and I walked over there and looked at it. You could see trash and encampments. It's been cleaned up, as you can see. There's a good sight line. The canopies are 6 feet and up, and they cleaned out the area. And I had to put the picture of the crane there. I thought it was kind of sweet. I have recently talked to the property owner of the hotel, and he mentioned, we were talking about the fence, and you can't see it because there was a fence that was covered by the trees, and clearing it out exposed the torn up fence. So I've talked with him, and he's going to have that removed and cleaned up. So that's a project that's actually done on our end. The Public Works and Jerry and his team did a phenomenal job of getting that cleaned out. So very happy about that. That one is done.
I did commit to him that we'd take that fence down, so Daniel was going.
Oh, we are going to take it down?
Yeah,
Oh,
he said
wonderful.
he'd put a new one up, but
Okay.
I figured it'd take him 2 seconds to bulldoze that thing. So.
Yeah, he did say they took some of it down. He wanted to know if we'd take the rest, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, and he said, I'll get it.
I just talked to Daniel this morning, so we'll finish that.
Awesome. Okay, that's great news.
Mr. Mayor, what you got?
Let me ask you about the water there in Coral Drive. It goes all the way over across Robinwood over into the housing project and all along Coral Drive. How is that cleaned?
Yeah, that's beyond my scope. You would need to talk to the, the guy that does that in Public Works. Okay. That's not even in the Sierra District. You have to be careful because it is a wetland, so you can't pull up foliage and vegetation in that because it is a wetland. We can clean around it, but actually in it, you have to be very careful when it comes to cleaning.
I'm going to combine this with over in Sylvania Heights, Ms. Riley, what is that?
Gap Creek.
Gap Creek, yeah.
Yeah, I would approach that with Daniel and see if their department, what's involved in keeping those areas clean. That's not in the Sierra District, so I can approach that because actually on the other side of Coral is
Yeah. But what we're talking about that
A little bit of background on that one because I'm very familiar with the Gap Creek and stuff.
Okay.
Daniel and I have walked a lot of that. The vast majority of the areas you're talking about are privately owned properties that the water runs through. The city's very limited on what we can do in there, obviously, for those. The wetlands, getting in with Florida DEP permits for there and everything like that. The ones that the city owns and those kinds of things. We've looked at several things. The one here along Coral, running north along the church and stuff. They've examined in the past doing like a walking trail through there. But the environmental issues and everything that went with that and the cost associated with it, it just never really went anywhere. But ultimately, just the part you're looking at on here is part of that is on city-owned property, but that's really about it. The rest of it's private property that we really can't go in there. and
You're talking about this here or Gap
The one
Creek?
right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Gap Creek, there's a few properties out there that, there's like a city, a lift station on one of the properties and stuff out there. But the vast majority of that out there is all privately owned.
Also, the county got a ton of money over at Gap Creek whenever they had that sinkhole, or before then. So you might want to talk to the county, Trey Goodwin and some of the others over there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just that we're limited on what we can do
Yeah, but
on private property. We just can't go out there and we're cleaning up your stuff. You know, there's a possibility we could work with the property owner to do some stuff on there, but it would have to be each individual property giving us permission and hold harmless agreements to go out there and do anything
Yeah, I'll
on
take
there.
that one offline, it's not
Yeah.
CRA.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Mr. Gibson, to kind of rein it back into the CRA while I got your ear, help me dust off and remember that scope, if there is still grant awarded to us, is either a state appropriations or a DEP grant. Didn't we have some kind of play with the path from that Robin Wood? Or did that get rolled off the budget?
It did. That whole grant application process was done before my time
Yeah.
with the city even. So it was 7, 8, 10 years ago. Was that initially went through there, was initially approved, then it never got built. And then all that funding has gone away from my understanding on it.
I can kind of give an update because that was one of the first things that the new city manager got hit with right when he got the job. And I think Daniel Payne negotiated with the actual engineer for the Archdiocese over in Tallahassee because it involved going through the Catholic Church property pretty significantly. I believe they could not come to an agreement to actually, because the Catholic Church had a lot of reservations about the project. So.
I didn't realize we were talking about the same thing, but yeah, that's Archdiocese or whatever his title was didn't want to play.
Gotcha.
They didn't want the people that they're feeding to be walking. the street.
Right, because
Catholic
it would
charities.
clean up the back of the church probably.
Yeah.
All right, well, good stuff. Next project.
Next one, I wanted to discuss something that's actually not in y'all's agenda packet because it just came to us.
Okay.
And it involves, it's similar to what we did here, and that is this property located at 230, 232, and 240. It is a land that's in trust, and the owners have had a lot of problems in that area. We just received yesterday the hold harmless agreement from everyone in the trust to work on getting that cleaned out just like we did on the other property. It's located behind Soy Bistro. We went back there and looked in the area. There was a lot of homeless encampments there that were storing their personal belongings. There was actually a tent put up. He had a great little house there. And debris and litter that is scattered across the property and actually even gets thrown into the water, and that's right on the waterfront. The blight mitigation, what we're going to need to do is get a letter of authority. The property owners get a letter of authority for the police to tell the homeless to move off that property, and from what they told me, they already had one, and the police are checking into that to see. We will be removing the accumulated debris and litter from the affected properties, and that is 3 lots. It's owned by one trust. And we'll have to contract out the clearing on this, and that will involve removing the vegetation, the underbrush, pruning the tree limbs to maintain a 6-foot canopy, and getting that area cleaned out so it would not be a great place for the homeless to camp out. But it will also provide a very beautiful view and open it up for the waterfront for that area. So we're looking at getting that. We've got the hold harmless agreement, and next thing I'm going to do is put it out for bid for contractors to get to work on that. Just got that yesterday. So I want you to look at that because that is something that's new on the list that was not in the agenda because it just came up. Okay.
Love it.
Thank you.
And
I will say we want to do more of
Attorney's
these.
office, that was the one that also had a lot of litigation involved with it as well? Or was that?
No.
No, not that one.
That's a separate one.
It's a separate one.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Steamboat Landing?
Steamboat Landing.
And from what I understand, that's moving forward, and hopefully we'll hear soon about getting that as part of the building mitigation program.
Keep those good news coming. Improves the beautification.
Are y'all okay? I do need y'all to verify that it's okay to move forward with this project as we did with the other one and put this in our new mitigation program. I would like to get y'all's input, see if that's okay.
Yes.
So make a
Need a
motion.
motion? So moved to get a bulldozer out there tomorrow.
Believe me, if I owned a bulldozer, I would go out there tomorrow. So, do they need a vote on that?
Yes.
Okay. Vote? Are you ready, Mr. Chair, to vote?
Yes, yes. I would like a better motion.
So,
I want another part too. And I thought the clerk's got to write the minutes and we got to get some clarity to step. I love it though. I wish, yeah.
so moved to put that property cleanup out for bid.
And add it to the nuisance abatement program.
Add it to the nuisance abatement program and get it done as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Love it. Second. Any more comments, Mr. Jeter?
No, sir.
All right, any more comments, board? All right, let's go to a vote. Good stuff. Passes unanimously. So that gets us through the projects on section 7, correct? Now we have section 8.
Yes, we've still got some, the program consideration projects.
All right, keep me in line, Ms. Alicia.
Okay.
Keep rolling. I really like, I think Mr. Jeter mentioned before, I mean, I know it seems very tedious, but if we can keep this format going, I really like this as well.
I have no problem with this format. It helps keep the flow going. I'm 100% good with
Gives you
this.
clarity and staff clarity to ready, set, go. So
Yeah, that sounds
let's roll on to the next
All
project.
right, so the next slide. This is the Vandergrift Park Gateway Entrance Project. These are something that the Parks and Rec and I got together for the design. It's a very rough drawing, but the idea, I wanted y'all to get the idea of maybe metal trees that kind of stylistic going up and meeting in the middle and the landing across it. I know this is Vandergrift Park, but we're using it as like a gateway entrance to point people to the landing. And so we're looking at something like that with, and I wanted to put, there's the children, those are Jack and Jill statues, and the next page will show you their pictures. And those, I want to put them, now the archway is going to be back some because we've got that mural on the building. So right on the other side of that mural in Vandergrift Park is like a brick outset. We'll start them there and have that going up there. With Jack and Jill kind of more toward the sidewalk, because even with that there, people are still going to think, ooh, let me drive through. Yeah. So I wanted to put something there, and the reason I picked that statue is because it looks like children over there running into the park. I didn't want just an ugly bollard there. I wanted something decorative, and we've got statues in the park. So it'll match those, and that's what I wanted to put there. So I wanted y'all to look at that design. If you don't like that design, let me know. It's kind of hard to depict. But if y'all want us to take it out for creative design and do the call to artist, that's what I need y'all to let me know.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Mr. Jeter.
I love progress, and sometimes you don't always get what you want. That's not something necessarily that I would want, but we do need something there. So I do like when we went out for bid for the sign in downtown, and we got the paddle board, and again, wasn't my favorite either, but a lot of large paddleboard companies are based right here. So some people have, Lexington, Kentucky has thoroughbred horses all over the place. That's their theme.
Yeah.
Maybe our theme is paddleboard and beach balls. We're Fort Walton Beach. I would like to see us maybe stick with something, whether it's our theme or not, whether you paddleboard or beach ball or not. Somehow that needs to tie into the new sign we just did across the street, I would think, somehow, some way. And even if we put it back out for bid, I think there needs to be some flow, kind of like we talked about with the lights earlier. I don't think we should have a lot of different signs, and then we're going to have our wayfinding signs are like blue and orange right now. They look like Florida Gators, and then we kind of got a beach ball, and now we got this. That's just my personal opinion, but I also, I resent slowing any process down either, because I want to see things get done really, really fast, but
And now you're right on the theme. And one of the themes that that is kind of is Fort Walton Beach is kind of a family recreational area. So the reason I picked that was because it's leading into a park, and the trees are park. And if we stick with like recreational, then that kind of diversifies on what the area depicts that would be recreational, because that paddleboard is great, but that's not where you would leave to go paddling. If y'all want that there, we can do it. I'm just, the reason I picked the trees was because it's going into the landing. And can you go to the next screen? I saw this. Now you see the artificial greenery there. This is at a resort in Tampa. I think that's where we were. Can't remember. It was the last conference I went to. And that I was thinking about putting like a pot there at the bottom with artificial, and the artificial vines going up into the tree to make it look kind of more real, but put that on the outside and to soften up the metal. And that was another thing I was thinking about doing, is adding that to it. I just couldn't get it in, actually somebody helped me get it in another picture.
Well, always like, go ahead.
I love it. I just like getting the community involved too. So I like putting the call out to the artists. And if we get torn at that point, I would love what we did years ago on the 6 and 8 foot fence. Put it out to Jerry Williams and get the coast and put a survey out there and let the daggone residents vote on what kind of sign or something they want there. And I would say that for me too. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't think any of us or one person or group should get to pick that if we're going to go different from the theme. Let's put a call to the artists and put it out to the citizens and let them tell us what they want there.
So what I'm here to say is keep moving forward with the progress. And what I like what Mr. Jeter mentioned, it's really going to tease and put out some promotion for the 100-something thousand readers that are going to go to, platforms like Get the Coast to pick out a design. We're really trying to solicit their input while at the same time not slowing anything down. Because my understanding of this objective is you're looking for feedback, keeping things moving. And if along this path we can continue to promote the changes and the things that are happening through downtown Fort Walton, everybody wins kind of deal. Ms. Debbie, you had something you wanted to add?
Yes, I can. I was going to just expound a little bit on what Councilman Jeters just mentioned, and I think that's an excellent idea because I was thinking the same thing. Maybe put a survey out there, let the citizens, let them vote. And I love the way the library, when they did the artwork, and then you kind of come in and the citizens kind of can pick which artwork they wanted to put on the new library cards. Thought that was an excellent idea. So getting the residents involved and getting what they want and what they feel, I'm 100% behind. And I do believe that should be a great idea. I support that. Absolutely.
Mr. Gibson.
And a possible proposal here on this one, just because the way it sounded on this one. So the way we did the downtown entrance sign with the paddleboard, that kind of went out as almost a contest for the design on that one. We had a panel of people, some downtown residents and business owners, some city staff members, that kind of picked that one as a group on there. So if you're looking for something like that and get the approval out there, what we could do is kind of run a same contest for designing that, and then bring that before a similar panel, maybe pick the top 3 to 5, and then we could possibly put that out for like a survey for the community to vote on, or something like that. The problem with that is that takes time for all the different things in there. But we really need to know what the theme is to move forward. And I get what you're saying, keep moving forward, but without knowing what this is going to look like, we really can't move forward with much of it.
Mr. Jeter?
I feel like we did 2 of them fairly quickly. And I don't know if you're talking about the library card. You're talking about the mural on the library down there?
No, literally the new library card.
But we did the mural on the library pretty quickly too, and we did the same thing you just described. We had the mural on the library, and we brought 4 or 5, and we listened to feedback, and we picked one. And we did the same thing with the new paddleboard park. So my scope would just include, these are the most 2 recent projects we just did. If you want ideas, go look at this mural and this sign, and that's where we're trying to go, and then we'll pick from those 3, 4, 5, but we'll get to hear community input. Is that kind of what we're thinking?
I think exactly. And I know it's hard, and I appreciate y'all keeping up with us, because in one item, we're ready to get the bulldozers out tomorrow, and then the next, we're wanting to get, the interest, which I really do think that is, I know it's a very subjective, and it's hard to keep up with. So thank you for asking the questions. With this kind of play, it's going to bring in, what I like about what Mr. G was mentioning in that response was it's going to keep bringing the engagement while us figuring out and identifying the brand and the theme. While we're here on the subject, I'd like to just plant some seeds of continuing to preserve that nostalgic brand, that kind of what we are with the trees and the history and the new museum, while at the same time with the water sports and the paddleboarding and the beach balls, whatever all the artists that looks like and how they design that. But yeah, designing that theme or continuing on getting the engagement with the artists of that theme. And that's just going to solicit, like you mentioned, the input and the feedback. And if we can get it out there on those different platforms to solicit feedback, that helps. Mr.
Chairman, real quick, maybe y'all can do a motion on that and then discuss that. Just because they're going to be kind of playing whack-a-mole a little bit, I think, on the direction. So if you can do a motion.
We'll get there in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think to help drive that, if there's a creative element to the project, that's what I'm accustomed to, is that call to artists. That takes the creative burden off the staff and they can just become the project manager. If it's go bulldoze the grow stuff, great. That's a go forth and conquer.
Great way to put it.
So anything that has a creative element, that's your call to artists, call to vendors, call it what you will. So you'll have a rough order of magnitude, and then by the time we circle back, you'll have something to choose from, whether we let the public pick, whether council picks, whatever. But there's the design.
And that's kind of the vibe as we go through the next 6 months or 6 years of continuing that play of, getting that input, and it's not just on staff to come up with the design and those kind of things and just manage the project. So moved Mr. Davis's most recent presentation.
And is that a call to artists and then bring it back to the board, or are they fine picking it? Staff picking
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wanted to add to it because I had a process in mind. I wanted to do the same as what we did before with the storm drains. We got a committee together and we put the call to artists out there, and we got 64 designs. And it was great, beautiful designs, and then we narrowed them down. And what I would like to suggest doing is put the call to artists out there for suggestions, because we'll get some beautiful designs, then narrow them down, get a group of a committee with citizens, if y'all want to pick some, or we just put it out there of maybe 7 people to be on it, and we narrow it down to certain, like maybe top 5 or top 10, depending on what we get. Then we can bring it to y'all for a decision if y'all want to make the decision, and do it that process, and that way we can get y'all's input on what you like in the community, but then also get the community to vote. We could actually put it out there for the community to vote on the top 10, and then bring y'all the top 3 from the community's vote. That's the process that I would like to see. Yes, it will take time, but I believe that will get the community's input, and we'll also give y'all a chance to pick maybe from the top 3 that y'all would like to pick. Because the more we get out there, the more, like everybody's going to want this, that, and the other. So I'd like to get a process to narrow it down, and then bring it to y'all for approval and let y'all look at it. If that is okay with y'all, I would like to, yes, put a call to artists out for this. The reason I went ahead and picked that design and made it up because we wanted to move forward quickly.
Right.
But I would like to ask if we're going to do the call to artist with the design for the entrance, I would like to ask y'all if y'all would go ahead, if you're up to it and you're okay with approving the statute, of go ahead and putting that in so we can use that area to block. But y'all may not like the statute because it may not fit the design we pick.
Mr. Jeter?
I'd say we put it all out for call to artists,
Okay.
and let's wait on that. But how long is that call? What are you thinking that would take? Can that all be brought back by February's meeting?
Yes, I think I can have it back by February. I think we can at least present maybe 3 top designs for y'all in February to review and see which ones y'all like.
And that's how we've done the other 2 projects. That makes me personally feel a lot better because it's, look, there was a committee, there was a bunch of options. They got narrowed down to this. This is the one we selected. You never came and spoke. Don't get upset with me. So it involves the community and gives everybody options. So if we can get that done by next February, that's a great route. Let's do that.
Mr. Browning?
Yeah, just going back, I agree totally with all that. Love it. Just curious, so you were asking for funding for the project and for staff request project approval. Is there a price on it at all?
On that project, there was not a price. It was not established in the budget.
You're gonna need a rough order of magnitude to go to artists, because one artist is gonna suggest all this crazy stuff, and one artist is gonna give you this, and that's what your 100,000 will get, or whatever the magic number is. So you're gonna need to find out a rough order of magnitude.
Yeah, what we did is on the designs for the storm drains, we paid each artist that won $500. Now on this, I would suggest that we pay more for a design, because the more you pay, the better professional. Like on the gateway entrance sign, we paid them, for their design, we paid them $5,000. That got some very professional people to actually contribute, some true artists that will give us some really good ideas. So that would be something we would need to determine if we're going to take it out to call the artist. And thank you for asking that. We need to determine what are we going to pay the winning artist. That needs to be put in the call to artist. And I would suggest somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 to get an actual professional artist to put their time in to make the designs. Because when we did the gateway entrance sign, I literally got some that was obviously AI generated, thrown in, and the very next day there was no professionalism in that whatsoever.
Well, that go that route though, is if you're gonna put the project out, the artist is gonna be the person that's creating the thing. So you could just say, our rough order of magnitude is 100,000, and whatever. Doesn't have to necessarily be an artist, it could be any kind of vendor, right?
It could be anybody, but when you put out a.
Design, bid, build. They do
They
text
do
tag and
everything, you
type.
want them to do it all? Okay, we can
Otherwise,
do
you're
that.
gonna you're gonna spend a bunch of money just on getting.
And that's a great idea, design, bid, build, everything, let them do the entire thing. They're responsible for having it built, installed, everything. Great idea, I'm good for that. That takes a lot of work off us and gets that out there. And they present their bids, just like they do other bids, to include, and we can establish how much we want to do it for.
And I know at some point, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the downtown design, the downtown gateway entrance sign, that cost us around, I had the number in my head, but the whole project was around $90,000, so that's pavers and all. So if y'all would give me a budget, if you want to do $50,000 manufactured in, designed, let me know, and we'll put that out for bid.
Well, that was actually the question I was getting ready to get to. Mr. Browning brings up a great point with looking through these other future projects. What is already in the CRA budget that was recently approved? I know we might not have earmarked dollars for each one of these projects that we're considering, but do we have a global number for the summary of said projects? I mean, I guess it's hard to just pick a number from the pocket to get a rough order of magnitude without knowing what's in the budget for these type of programs or what's remaining in the budget.
And that's what we're going to have to determine. There is money in the budget because, we have that extra money that's got to be assigned. And it's got to be assigned to projects. So we do have that extra money, but we also have in the budget, there was a $150,000 that was set aside for a streetscape of Miracle Strip that is not going to happen. So I've got that money that we could use toward other projects. So there is money. We're actually reviewing the CRA budget because there's been new projects brought in, projects canceled since the budget was even created. So we're having to review and look at the budget. Plus we've got to determine the additional funds that need to be allocated. So there's money. We're just going to have to look at it, and Nicole and I and Tim, we're going to get together and we're going to look at it and see what we can do with the extra funding that is sitting there.
Gotcha. So it's very
I'm not worried about it being
some
funded.
projects that got cut already, and then we're having conversations about tonight,
Cutting
some
more.
projects that, like the lighting conversation or possibly wayfinding that might not move forward in February, that can be reallocated possibly to like things like 208 Ferry or other things like the signage and that type of stuff. Okay, I appreciate that.
I just really, if y'all want to tell me a number that y'all might want to put a budget on it, we can work on the scope of work soon.
And I would suggest maybe amending the motion because Mr. Davis did provide more input after the original thing, and she's provided a lot of input, so maybe make the motion based upon his idea for how the scope will work out with her number included.
And with that trend, though, before we go to the motion, we're probably going to need that same model for each one of these projects, though, right? Yeah, okay. And
Any
then
design
without-
project, I'd like to use this model. I'm sorry.
If you frame it in a not to exceed,
Okay.
then you.
So a budget of 50,000 not to exceed 100. You could get a.
There you go.
There you go.
And that way you can get any kind of different flavor under the sun.
Motion for call to artisan to come up with signage for Vandergrift Park by the February CRA meeting to bring us back the top 3 to 5 design options not to exceed 100,000 with a preferred budget of 50,000.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Jean, a second by Mr. Berry. Any further comments?
No, sir.
Mr. Merrill?
It's not specifically, I can wait, it's not specifically to this motion. It's just to it seems like we need an order of importance of projects. Because I don't think if we run out of money on 3 other projects that we consider more important than this, I don't think we need to waste time and go bidding it out. So if we move forward with this, I think after this, we explore some way to, when we get that whole scope of the budget, to order these projects. It's not our time to come up with projects. So you're doing a great job. You're coming up with all these projects, and then I just see us kind of going, well, do we want to spend it on that? Is there something else? So we do need to we just need to number things basically and say, this is next up. And when that money's available, when it's in the budget. So I think that would help organize this.
100%. And I think with this new agenda packet being like this, it makes it easier to do that. I think what we're doing right now is just bring us back a bunch of data. I think February, we're going to be able to put a pencil to all of these prices. And then at that point in time, we say, let's, you know what I mean? Then we'll be able to arrange those accordingly. Does that make sense? Because some of these we're just asking for prices all we don't really have yet. What is in this, what is the actual CRA fund balance right now, unassigned?
Well, it's all restricted, obviously, to CRA, but about 2.7 million is unassigned to projects.
Yeah, it's restricted to CRA,
To
but
be
it's
used,
unassigned.
yeah.
So we like,
So we
to
got-
And we have the phase 4 of the landing too, we got to keep in the back of our minds. That'll be coming up at some point.
it's kind of restricted because we want to finish the landing, but
Definitely finish.
that's one reason we're meeting is to actually get a full picture, especially if the auditors clear everything up, get a full picture of what's in the CRA budget. Because like I said, I said budget, we set priorities, and then I'll be honest with you, so much has gotten changed since we did it, which is great because we're seeing these things move forward and they're getting prioritized. I love that, let me pull the projects in February, say these are the projects, these are the costs, and prioritize things for me because that helps keep me directed to what y'all want. The issue is when new projects come in, and it's like, okay, well, which one is priority? So that's where we're needing to figure things out, and we will. And I would love to come back in February with a definite list, cost, and project. And hopefully, when are we doing this is not till March though, till we're gonna get definite.
Yeah, no, not till March. We won't know the finalized.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman,
We'll have
some CRAs will always at every meeting just kind of have as backup material, just maybe at the end, is with every meeting, it's a list of all your current projects and your current budget, kind of like that. Just so you know what the running total is, so y'all kind of have an idea of what projects are out there.
And I can start including that in every budget and let y'all know where each division is. Thank you for that suggestion. Each division is, what the balance is in all of them. I can start doing that in the budget too, or in our meetings. Provide that at the beginning so we got a good picture. Clear picture is always best.
Because especially with this new beautiful format of this agenda, I have a feeling with these monthly meetings, we've increased the frequency substantially of these CRA meetings. And now as we're diving in deeper and breaking them out by each project, that's going to be very helpful to give us where we're at funding wise, where we're at project priority wise, and it just keeps giving staff clarity on, yeah, so good stuff. So we have a motion. We have a second. And are there any more comments? All right, let's go to vote.
Jeff, the motion for this was specific to Vandergrift Park. Is there a separate motion required to say anything with an artistic element?
Well, actually, did you amend it to include, you amended the motion,
Correct.
second to,
For a call to artists.
for a call to artists, yeah, with the 50, based upon your idea.
I'm saying for any project that is artistic driven,
For any project.
we'll follow this procedure.
So y'all need to make a separate motion if you want to start this process.
I think we're going to actually be addressing that toward the end.
procedure.
So maybe discuss that at the end, yeah, like, so now come back up again.
The last agenda item is actually the procedures that we follow through, and I think that would be a good place to include that and talk about that.
All right, next we have item 7.2. Let's do it, send it.
I need the slide. All right, this next one I'm going to talk, we had the building mitigation, we had some houses that we looked into. We've already demolished one that is producing already, going to be producing a nice project. This project right here is, I have talked with property owners several times. This is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the SWAT drug raid that was recently happened, where they arrested a lot of people and cleared out a lot of drugs that was on this property. Now, if you look at the bottom picture, you can see in the back, they're already demolishing one of the houses. He did get a CRA grant for a nuisance abatement to demo that, and that's the 75-25 grant. So he got an actual grant, not what we're doing with the total mitigation. I was told today that that is now cleared, that back property. This property has several issues, as y'all can see in the police activity report. I'm not going to go through all that, but they've got a lot of case issues. I even have one of the code enforcement officers here can address that for you. He has a lot of running funds. We've tried to talk to him about letting us just demo the whole property at our cost so he can sell it. He's still kind of, and I get it because that's income for him. So I understand that 100%. I don't know if he will agree to it, but in case he does, I wanted y'all's approval to demolish that entire lot and clean it off. I already know of an investor that might actually put some workforce housing in there, nice townhomes. That's a possibility, that actually has talked to the property owner about doing that. But like I said, I don't know if he's going to agree to it, but if he does, I wanted y'all's approval to add this to the total building nuisance cleanup program, if y'all would be okay with that.
Before we discuss just that scope, is there a play with the 3rd Street apartments doing the same thing?
3rd Street, you talk about with, I don't know what 3rd Street apartments you're talking about.
3rd and Wyndham.
Wyndham.
Apartments like where our detour road was while Hollywood was under construction.
Where the old school board was?
No. All right, so when you go east down Hollywood, and we were just doing that construction on Hollywood, the detour took us south, and then it took us east down a 3rd Street. There's public safety might have some more feedback on this. I don't know if there's, you mentioned drug activities and things like that, but the 3rd Street apartments are pretty blighted and pretty public safety concerning. I'm not sure what's going on with that environment. But you bring up a great point about 111, 113 Kiwi with that substantiated information with the police activity report. Is there a play with similar activity at 3rd Street Apartments?
I'm not aware of that, but if there is, I would love to address that. I'm not aware of that area. That has not been brought to my attention. I do have code enforcement out there and bringing me, and police bringing me updates. And that's how I found out about one of the others that actually she canceled because, and actually that's how I found out about this one too, was through code. Because when they get a lot of codes and a lot of fines, and it gets to a point to where they're just not obeying the codes, and then when the drug bust happens, it's like, okay, it's getting to a point where something's got to be done.
For sure, and that's kind of why I was planting that seed.
Yeah.
We had a resident who lives very close to 3rd Street that sent us an email, and I don't know how far the email got pushed out after it got to Mr. Davis's office, or if it made the public safety or code, but you know, just different things like gun shells and baggies that aren't good. And there was some activity of our police department. You know, we don't know what they were responding to, I don't know, but that neighbor was just concerned about the environment that is there over at 3rd Street Apartments. So I know statutorily we're obligated here at the CRA to improve the blightiness.
Oh, 100%.
Love this conversation about the scope. You're looking for approval of bulldozing the former drug house. Just didn't know. My understanding, 3rd Street Apartments are a lot more of a volume and more capacity of maybe some of these same kind of behaviors.
And I will definitely talk to code and the police about those apartments and get more information. That was not a project that was brought to me that I was aware of.
Yeah, just plant the seed now. I'm definitely not trying to catch you off guard.
No, that's fine. I don't know if this owner's going to let us do it, you know, because we can't go in there and do it, you know, we're not that. So I just wanted, if he approves, if he finally says yes, I'll let it go. I've got a buyer for the lot. And if we demo it, then it's more feasible for purchase. That's what I'm trying to convince him of. If he says yes, I would like to be ready to say yes and not have to bring it back to y'all, that y'all approve this lot or this property as part of the project. That's all I need from y'all.
Is 3rd Street not in this area, Mr.?
It's not. It's on the other side of Chicago.
So just the
Chicago's
so it's on that side.
All right. So maybe during the public 6 o'clock meeting, we can address it since it's a street over. Gotcha.
Guess what you're going to be talking about.
All right. Looking for feedback on this. I mean, I like the sound of where this is going. Mr. Brennan?
I have a question as a whole for the blight mitigation project. Like how are we finding these houses? Like, because I know at one point, I think Mr. Jeter asked for like an SOP on it. Like, what are people just calling you saying, come check out these properties? Or staff calling you?
Yeah.
Like, just are we just stumbling across because it's got a lot of issues? Or
The answer is yes. So if we find a property, mostly I worked with the code enforcement and police, and they let me know this is a high crime area, this is a high crime location, and code says they've got all these codes. They're not obligated. They're not cleaning up the property like they're supposed to. It's all of the above that they bring to me, and then I evaluate it, and then I will bring it to you. I've got another one that I'm actually about to bring after this that's not even in the agenda that came to me today. So as I get these, I will bring them to you, And that's where they come from. If y'all, if any, and I've got it out there, if you know of anything, let me know. And if I drive by and I see something. So that's where they come from. Did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, is the number one objective of the nuisance abatement program to demolish the properties?
The objective
That
is,
seems what it is.
yeah, I'm sorry, the objective is to completely clean the lot, so it is appealing to developers or better growth, to eliminate the blight completely, so you've got a blank slate for anybody, and it could be the property owner that says, listen, I want to rebuild here, kind of like with William Rittenhouse. He brought that lot, and he figured out he was going to put in, a whole lot more than he had budgeted for, so us demoing it really helped him get that project finished and get that project moving forward. So the purpose of it is, yes, to provide a clean slate, eliminate the blight 100%, so new development and better items can come in. And it could just be one house that's a lot nicer that raises the property value of the area and decreases crime and issues in the area. We're finding out now more on with the work done on Carson Drive. And I'm about to talk about another one. There's some major attention going into that area just because of what we've been doing to demo and clean it up. So it's gonna clear up a whole area, and property values are gonna go up for the people that live there.
I think I would like to see, along with this, a path forward to that next. The thing that concerns me with this is he's not even sure he wants to do it. He might keep renting it. So if he does do it, what's the timeline? What's the motivation? How fast is he going to redevelop it, sell it for redevelopment? There's a small concern in me to go into neighborhoods and take down livable spaces, maybe not the most, desirable, if that's the case for what many reasons, but to go in and then just have empty lots that could potentially sit for 3, 4, 5 years. When we deal with something like the Steamboat Landing, it's just such a blighted product. Like if that was the case with this, if it was breaking in on the sides and the roof was caving in, I would be more, but to go and pursue livable places without a path forward. If we had a developer right on deck or the property owner was like, here's my new plan, I want this, I would, but that would be my concern, is that we go and demo this and then what's 2, 3, 4, indefinitely, we're not seeing anything being done.
Ms. Alicia, you mentioned there was an investor possibly?
There is
How serious are they?
There is somebody that I talked to today that said he actually knows the governor and he's talked to him and tried to, you need to get it cleaned off. And I will say this, you're right, we don't want the lot to sit there and grow weeds, but that's where code would come in. But I would say a vacant lot is a whole lot more appealing than a drug house or several drug houses and drug activity and negative activity. So I would rather have a vacant lot to sit there for 5 years than to have to deal with constant drug activity and police and have police there. So you're right, and I would love to actually put in this, that something that we would like something to be done within so many years of demoing it. But how would we enforce that? Would we make them pay us back if we did demo it? If they're not, don't sell it, then...
Well, kind of cutting in there, that's not been the theme of the plans. There is a separate process. She actually started, talking about at the start of this presentation about the guy received a grant to demolish one building, and he's done that. So that is one thing that they kind of already do to tie up the property, like she's saying. But they kind of, since Mr. Davis has been in charge, the nuisance abatement program has been more about demolishing properties straight out without any real ties requiring like time to the owner. So that's...
Well, to piggyback off that, I'm probably a little bit too bullish, but I'm pretty confident that as these things are removed, the investors will do what the demand is in this region, which is to create capacity, whether it's for R1 or residential, whatever the zoning is, they'll come in. I'm fully supportive of the nuisance and abatement program, especially when we have data that's substantiating drug activity and SWAT raids. You know what I mean? That's the whole culture shift that we're trying to improve in the CRA district, and specifically while we're here tonight. So, any other comments or feedback?
I have a question.
Yes, Mr.
As far as the owner of the property, 111, 113. So what I'm hearing you say is the owner is not for sure whether or not he wants to go through with the demolishing everything on the property and sell it. So Did you ask, was the question asked to the owner?
Yes.
Do you want to sell? Because what would hold them back from, if you're demolishing everything, maybe the owner wants
Yeah.
to build something on the property. Because I'm just thinking, if you get this abatement, that's a great thing that you can go in, and blighten the areas and help clean it up. But on the other hand, what happens when when you're in a situation like this? Because it kind of sounds like to me the owner is probably in the middle of whether I want to sell it, whether I want to keep it, and then who's to say, okay, if you sell it, why would a developer have to come in if the owner want to keep the land himself? Is it possible when you use the nuisance abatement program that if the owner decides, hey, I want to do this, it's my property, if I've been given a grant to clean it up, willingly to have it cleaned up, what would hold the owner back from wanting to build his own?
We just recently did that with Wyndham House, and the owner, a guy bought Wyndham House, we demolished it completely because he brought us a plan that says, I want to build these townhomes here. And so the owner can either sell it or build it back up. And yes, I would like to know what is your plan and have some ideas in mind or even investors that would be interested in buying the lot. Yes, so nothing's preventing the owner from improving the property.
Okay. I was just wondering, because you said you found someone that want to invest in the
There
property.
is someone that's interested.
Right?
He didn't say he would, but he is interested in that property, and I am quite certain if we cleared it up, that there might be others to come up. It could be a single person that just says, I'd like to build my house there. It doesn't have to be a developer builder.
That's it.
So is that your task, to once you clean it up like that, to go out and try to find an investor?
It is
to buy
not
it, and
necessarily
then-
my task.
Is that a part of your task?
Not really.
Is to do that, or?
It's just to clean the property and get it available. Now, can I start locating in touch with real estate companies, and every time I clean a lot, send it to the real estate companies and put it out there and tell them this lot's available if anybody wants to build? 100%. I would love to do that.
But you need to get the owner permission to
He
be
said
able
we
to do
can't
that,
do
though,
anything without the
right?
owner's
Right?
permission. We are not going to
just
do
don't
it.
wanna- okay.
We are not going to do anything without the owner's permission.
I'm just looking at, property rights and whatever, and.
Yeah, I
it's
would-
not- Okay, all right.
Yeah, Mr. Ozzie, Hattie King will definitely be making a decision on what
Whose
to do
property
with
is
the
it?
property. Mr. and Ms. King.
Alan, can
Mr. and Ms. King, understand the property owners? Yeah. They'll make the decision if she can or can't do it, but.
Okay.
It's up to him. He's done it several
You're not
times.
just going to take the property and.
No, we wouldn't do that.
This is certainly a tough one. Every time we've had one of these come up, we've elaborated on it for quite a few minutes, because I think it was Councilman Merrill last time that talked about this. Coming from one side of it, this can really value a lot of properties. There's some properties that are 1, 2, 3, 4, one not too far was here, it was just about $400,000 or $500,000 to demolish. So this program, I like it being a case-by-case scenario to where we can kind of decide how we're doing this. It's definitely, it could be very beneficial to a homeowner and make their property worth more, but at the same time, it's not necessarily our resident tax dollars that are paying for this. The reason I'm okay with it, I wouldn't be, because I think government should be responsible for public safety and infrastructure. This is the private sector that a developer and a homeowner need to decide on. However, I think a small role of the government should be to incentivize certain types of developments in certain areas, and that is the whole purpose of CRA. CRA is state funds to eliminate blight. So that's why I support these almost every time. If this was a taxpayer competing with another taxpayer who paid full price to demo a property right across the street and is having to pay full market or charge full market rent, and this other person's getting a free $15,000 head start with taxpayer dollars, that's tough. But this is CRA funds being used that are quote unquote, as Nicole said, it's a restricted account that must be used to improve the CRA district and eliminate blight. So as much as I struggle with it, I share your same resentment, but that's why I will continue to support them. I think we will eventually get to a point where we got to look at the budget and say, wait a minute here, we got phase 2 and some of these are getting expensive. But until then, and it also goes back to what Mr. Schmidt said, the more of these that happen, the more people hear about it. It's kind of like the 50-50 grant years ago. Somebody did it and found out about the 50-50 grant downtown, and before you know it was a domino effect, and now we kind of really quickly, I think we ended up dumping like $600,000 or $700,000 in the downtown Fort Walton with the 50-50 matching grant, and it really helped. Eventually, this faucet may have to get cut off, but until it gains some momentum, I think it's a great program that incentivizes development and eliminates blight.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown. I'm good with the incentivization. I'm good with grants that allow people to do stuff. I'm all with that. I think for our sake, for time's sake, I think that this process, this is my opinion, should be, hey, we believe you could qualify, and then they need to come submit the forms. We're essentially like trying to run and approve a grant that this guy might go, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And so we'll spend 30 minutes, that was more my point in this one. Hey, we'd be interested in approving the grant. You can come and fill out the paperwork. And then we don't need to hear about it or have them all brought to us until those people, like Steamboat Landing, they might be like, as soon as it's legal, yes, we'd love that. Cool, get the grant paperwork done and present it. So I just don't think we need to bring people that aren't pursuing the grant yet. That's where I was with this one.
Yeah, you're 100% right, but real quick, I was at a school board meeting earlier, and there's a program out there that allows scholarships for certain kids, and 1 year only one kid did it, and then 2 kids did it. Now all 12 kids in the class are doing it because last year, so I'm not arguing with you, I agree with you, but there is a way to, and you know this, you're in sales and retail, tell it to sell it. You got to tell people that you can throw that add-on on that boat if they want to rent it, because some of them don't know. So we can promote all we want for them to come do this, but this school specifically said, let me show you how to do this, and now all 12 kids in that classroom are on the scholarship program. So they were going to do it. So I think there is a little bit of you need to sell this program to people that we're helping you for. Does that make sense? I don't know what the balance is between that, but we can't sit back and say, well, we got the money if they ever come down here, because they're never going to come down here. We need to go get them and find them.
So I just want to confirm, so instead of going ahead and approving this one, let's wait till he actually says yes, and then I'll bring it back to y'all. I was just trying to, if he said yes tomorrow, get it started, but I can gladly bring it back.
And I think to kind of zoom out a little bit, I think that's what's good about these items being broken out individually. You're looking for feedback, you're looking for guidance. This plants a seed with the board on, hey, let's keep improving the blottedness. And then, like Mr. Merrill mentioned, let's make sure they want to do this. Staff will find out if they want to do it or not. And if they don't want to do it, it's not going to happen. If they do want to do it, you already got the board's approval to keep rolling kind of deal. So
for consistency, do you maybe want to do a motion saying from this point forward, any new projects, not even ones that are currently underway, you would like to see either an application or some communication from the property owner? It could be informal, but some sort of asking to be part of the program. Is that okay?
Let me respond, or let me ask you a question on that. Would that restrict staff from really going out there to kind of solicit the program?
No, the staff would just go and say, if they're like, yeah, I'd like my property demolished, and they'd be like, well, can you shoot me an email? Mr. Davis could say, shoot me an email asking for that, and then he can take that too.
I like that. Any thoughts on that?
That's all I'm looking for is a process. The same exact thing you did. If this guy had said, yeah, I'd be interested in that. If I get approved, I'd do that. I'd be happily bring it. I just don't want down the road for as many of these as we have to be like, hey, these are all approved, and then we're like, what happened with that 3 months later, a year later? I would rather them go, yeah, we want to move forward with this. You sell it, staff can find it, pursue it, but I just don't. So I think we're getting to that point.
It's like the rest of the projects. We approve it, we're like, why did that never get done?
Right. So like, I'd rather them like be on board with it. So in that process, we need to make a motion to say, in the process, so I'll make a motion to have the nuisance abatement program
Create an application.
Create an application so that it shows that their interest in the program is active and real for it to be brought for us to approve.
So they're seeking a new
some type of informal communication. They're seeking. Got it.
In other words, you want to buy in for the owner. Is that what I'm hearing saying? You want to buy in?
That is. We have a motion in a second. More further discussions. I got to speed this thing up. All right, seeing none, let's go to vote. It passes unanimously. And in the context of speeding this thing up, like Will was referring to, we have another meeting in 23 minutes and we still have other projects to get to. So I don't want to cut anybody short or anything like that, but we do got to be conscious of time. So I love the spirit of debate and conversation. This is good. Let's keep it rolling.
I do need to promise the owner I'll bring this to y'all tonight. This is a new one, so if you could go to the next slide. This is a property owner that came to me today. That he's already got nuisance abatement. He is right next. He's at 103 Carson Drive on the corner. You see those townhomes right there? That's what William Rittenhouse is putting in on First Street. His property is going to be right next to that, and he's going to do the exact same design on his property. So it's going to look like one copacetic area. And this is a area, he bought that property, he came to me today, and he wants to be considered for complete demolition so he can continue and do the exact same development that William Rittenhouse is doing adjacent to his property.
He has already started site work on the other property too, correct?
He's
begun his site work, yeah.
He's already done 105, and he's looking at some other properties on Carson.
Is there a demolition price? Do you have a price in hand?
I do, yeah, he just gave it to me today. It's gonna be probably close to the same what William did. I think that was around 25,000.
It should be, but remember the first time he came in here, he asked for 180 grand because he wanted us to approve demolition and
Yeah,
site
he was
work.
wanting to do, he didn't understand,
Yeah.
you know, that we're just going to demo clean the lot. He was wanting other things,
So I'd say to go back to him, can we make a motion to?
Well, because this was not on the agenda, y'all need to first make a motion adding it to the agenda, just because the public didn't have a chance to make a comment on it.
And it's 103 Carson?
It's 103 Carson Drive.
Motion to add 103 Carson nuisance and abatement to the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem?
We have a motion on the table in a second. Any further comments, Mr. Jeter, Mr. Merrill?
May I ask Attorney Burns a question prior to making the vote? Because I want to make certain that, do I need to accuse myself? Because that's Barry's property. We're not married or anything.
You're not married, so you do not have to. And do you have any ownership interest in the property?
Yeah.
Do you have any ownership interest in the property?
I don't.
Okay, then you do not have to.
All right, good question. Thanks for keeping us straight, Mr. Burns. All right, so we got a motion and a second. Any further comments?
That's just on the agenda. Correct?
Correct.
This is
Adding this to the agenda, and then we're going to roll some action after that.
Yep.
Pretty soon, it sounds like. Let's do it. Let's go to a vote to put this on the agenda.
And then the only difference, Mr. Chairman, is before, when y'all make your next motion to approve this or not approve it, you need to let the public comment on this one motion since they did not have an opportunity to start the meeting.
Mr. Burns, should we approve it? What is the process of seeing the price and approving it? Do we have to wait till February, or is he able to get a price and I don't want to do a special meeting or come to a regular meeting? What's the process of?
Well, y'all, I think they already indicated that he has reached out, so he's met the new requirement that he has approached the city wanting it demolished, but there's no real other standards in place right now. It's typically on the previous ones that they've kind of brought them forward to you and given you some loose numbers and y'all approved of them. So if y'all want to make it more formal now, y'all could say you'd like to come back in February.
Well, motion to approve 103 Carson nuisance and abatement, provided it is the same price or less as the last one.
You can limit it back to 25,000 if you want to limit it and say at
The last one was what I thought it was at 18?
Well, I think it was around 24.
Was it?
I've got so many numbers in my head right now, I can't tell you exactly.
Move
It
to approve not to exceed the price of the last
Okay.
lot.
And we need to go to public comment.
Make a second, Zoom a second. Okay, all right.
Now we need to go to public
Yeah.
comment. Is there any public input or public comment on this item? All right, seeing none, we have a motion and we have a second. Mr. Jeter, any further comment?
I think it can get done. The contractor has been there to the site before, so their mobilization fee should be a lot less this time. It should be able to get done cheaper, so it should happen.
Yeah, and I told him he has to give me 3 bids, just like normal, and we'll go with the lowest one. So, yeah.
Mr. Merrill, is that you seconded?
Yeah, just real quick, I think this raises the question we might look at further. I know we're speeding along at a price per property or a total budget for the nuisance abatement. I don't know if we've done that, or if we want to go, we're going to keep doing one-off. That's just so we can like make sure that there's some, you know, control over like price per property and stuff like that. Maybe something to consider, but yeah, I agree. If we keep it, if it's next door, keep it the same or less.
I would certainly support some additional parameters at the next meeting as we continue to go forward. Yeah.
What I'll do at the next meeting is I've got some prices estimated per square footage and per buildings. I do have that because I got it for Steamboat Landing, and it's just an estimate, and I can use that and base an estimate on each property and put a limit based in like so much per square foot, and then this is what we're going to limit the nuisance abatement demolition at, and we'll just set that standard.
And that's still just a guideline. These still all got to be approved up here.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
100%.
Got it.
It's just a guideline that I'll bring to y'all to approve next meeting.
Got it.
Need somebody else to vote, I believe? Ms. Riley?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm focused on my cup of coffee.
Right, passes unanimously. Next up on the agenda.
So I need next slide.
It's the utility and the fire hydrant painting, and I think we could
Oh,
go.
okay, the fire hydrant, table that, probably not gonna go to the next one. I need working with the fire department and get definite hydrants. All I wanted from y'all is, do you want me to take that out and let just artists bring in, like art clubs and like art societies, just pick one, and the theme is patriotic? And then let them present their designs, pick one, and I've got one organization.
Is this for the utility box?
Utility box. I thought you said hydrants, so I was
the
going on
hydrant?
hydrants.
Oh, I was just saying, the next two items are the utility box
Okay,
wrap
sorry,
as
I thought
well
you
as
said
the
hydrants.
fire
I
hydrant.
thought my paperwork was out of order. All right, let's go back to the hydrant, the utility boxes. Florida Power and Light, we have 101 utility boxes within the CRA. All of them are owned by FPL. So in here I had suggested that we do a call to artists for designs. We cannot do that because we don't own any of them. But FPL has these pre-approved designs, wraps for the utility boxes. And they sent me the application that I would need to fill out for each one of them if I wanted to do that. What my suggestion is, I wanted to know if y'all would be okay. I'm just thinking if the boxes are near water, we could switch out the waterfront ones. And if they're in by trees, we could do the tree ones. Just wanted y'all's thoughts on these designs, and if y'all wanted me to move ahead with these utility wrap boxes.
How much boxes roughly is it total?
101 within the CRA. We don't have to do that many. The cost on that, I think, was around $2,900 to $2,000 each vinyl wrap. That's the estimate I got.
And how many boxes are there?
There's 101. We don't have to do all of them, but we can do the ones in high profile areas.
Mr. Jeter brought up at one CRA meeting, did TDV respond at all if they would be interested in funding some of this? The tourism?
Oh, the tourism, we have not put it out to the tourism.
I guarantee a TDC will give you money for that aquarium one and put a QR code on it and put Destin Coral Beach on it.
And I appreciate you bringing that. Honestly, I totally forgot to reach out.
Yeah, no, it's all good. That's why we're here and bringing it up.
I'll reach out to them.
As we have 100-something boxes at roughly between $900 and $2,000 a box, I think the win-win is to get as much boxes wrapped with as much of the TDC funding as possible without touching our dollars.
We can see what allocation that we're given by TDC and do that in our March, approved, like we submit by March for the next budget cycle. And we
And
can,
do I need to fill that?
well, I'll get with you on it.
I'll get with her and we'll get that.
Let's drill in a little bit deeper. I know we're running out of time, but do we want to get it in our 12.5% guaranteed allocation, or do we want to go after that other pot of money that TDC has that's not our
other pot?
You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's try to go.
No, it's up to you guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And let's see what they say as we bring this back in the February meeting. Let's see what Charlotte and those folks say at the Tourist Development Department. We have a great advocate that's on the tourist board with Mr. Jeter, and if we can get that other pot of money to fund these items without our 12.5% guaranteed allocation that the Tourist Development Department gets us, I think that'll be a good play. Do we need any motion on this?
Technically, you should move to table it to the next meeting.
Okay, so moved to postpone this to the next meeting.
Second.
All right, any further comments, Mr. Jeter?
I love it.
All right, any further comments, board?
Just, Alyssa, I'd like all those projects to be turnkey, so we're not putting any of the burden on the operations staff.
Call. Including that in the motion to have them as turnkey with the experience that the tourism department has and other municipalities over here that have already done that. Let's make it efficient. All right, let's go to vote. 12 minutes.
Well, actually, you can run over. It's just, the next meeting can't start early, so this meeting can run past 6 if you got to.
Once again, keep it straight. All right, so we got the next item.
It's not the answer to the question.
Oh, I know, I got it.
He's giving us boundaries though. He gives us something to play with. All right, what's the next item?
The next item is the fire hydrants that I thought was had out of order, but with the fire hydrants, we do have, I did put a slide up there. There are several throughout the CRA. I don't have an intention to do all of them, but I do have some clubs that would like to paint some, and I wanted y'all to update y'all. We're still trying to get with the fire department, and there are some that you have to, even though we want to do the patriotic colors, you know, there's still certain colors they can have at certain spots, and so that's what I'm trying to work with them on. The I wanted to know if y'all wanted me to take them out for bid, or to put, my thoughts were, is just let these clubs say, okay, we want 5 hydrants. And these are our designs we're going to put on the hydrants. They're all patriotic theme, and then we just look at them and say, okay, go forth and conquer. Or I can bring them all back to y'all and let y'all look at them and say, yes, we like these designs. I just want guidance from y'all of how you want me to move forward with getting the designs.
Can I interject one thing from a constitutional issue?
Let's do it.
If y'all get something from a group, and you do not agree with their design, and it's something that's objectionable to everybody, you could create an issue by opening up the design process on all of those fire hydrants.
So what do you recommend, Mr. Burns?
I would say maybe the city should control the design process.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation to me. Otherwise, you can allow anything that someone wants to paint.
That's a good call. Mr. Jeter?
And you're still learning where we can and can't paint what on the fire hydrant, right?
Yeah,
So let's learn that and come up with our own design standards for that.
and like I said, I was going to do patriotic, let them present designs, but I can, we can have our own designs and let them color them or paint them, and just, some of them are going to want to be creative, or, use their own creativity and bring their own designs, and then I can bring them for approval. Is that?
You get into the whole
You still get
realm
into-
of, yeah.
Let's do us giving them
Give
an
them-
option of some patriotic designs that's controlled by the city so that we're avoiding what Mr. Burns mentioned up. And I think we can put
Yeah.
together a few
To simplify,
patriotic options.
if we're going to do that, what I would say is I would just put not called artists, but put out a bid. If we're going to go ahead and provide the designs and just put a bid out for somebody to paint them and get it done.
Yeah, I'd rather somebody that has skill, otherwise it's gonna look like I did it, than a shaved ape.
But you're going to bring us back what we can do in February,
Yes.
right? 'Cause
I'll bring back what we
okay.
can
Bring us
do.
back what we can do in February, and we'll decide what we put out for bid. Got it.
You were the fire hydrant.
Me,
Sounds
never
good.
seen me paint, it's terrible.
Do we need to vote on
Mr. Davis
that?
is not a fan.
Yeah, you do motion on that.
Motion to bring us back our hydrant painting options in February.
Second.
All right, any further comments? Mr. Jeter? Mr. Browning?
No, sir.
All right, let's go to, any other further comments for the board? Let's do it. Right. CRA dumpster enclosure is what I have next.
Next slide, please. I just need y'all's thoughts on this. We have, y'all can see that we have the one that we normally do, which is a fence, the one on the left. That costs around $5,000 to $8,000 depending on the size. I just wanted to make sure, because we do have some decorative options and some more stylistic high-end dumpsters, enclosures like the one below, that I priced out around 16. We're looking at 3 times the price if we want to do something that's more elegant and looks nicer, or we can just go through with what we've already got. And I just wanted y'all's thoughts if you want me to move through with the other ones.
Nicer and elegant.
Okay?
We got a brand new bridge coming. We're getting ready to be a brand new city. Let's go brand new. Let's go the nice and elegant.
Now, we could do nice and elegant in phase 1, which is the downtown area. And as we go further north, we might do the regular, but I can do nice and elegant on all of them. There are 250 dumpsters. Not, we're going to do all of them. But there are 250 dumpsters. I definitely want those. See what the stars are. That's the downtown. I want those done. That's going to be our high visual areas. So the ones that are high visually and really blighted are the ones that I would like to address first. The issue on this is we own the dumpsters, but they're on private property. So I have to get approval from each property owner to let us do that. The one behind the ballet, that pad actually has got to be torn up and turned because that pad was installed improperly, and that is actually splitting 2 properties. So there's 2 property owners I've got to get approval for. So, but I'm with you. I would love to do the high-end one if y'all are okay with us doing that.
Motion to do the nice and elegant one and bring us as many nice and elegant ones as Nicole will allow you to do. And bring us back a list of any property owner who says no to that.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, good.
All right, we have a motion and a second by Mr. Browning. Mr. Jeter, any further comment?
No, sir.
Mr. Browning?
Yeah, just to echo, go as far as you can. I don't want to forget the rest of the CRA.
Okay, you got it.
Any further comments from the board? Let's go. Vote. All right. We are still in the trash business.
Yeah, we're in the beauty business.
That's it. Improving the blindness. That's what we're statutorily responsible to do in this room.
Yes, yes.
At the moment. All right, the next item, I believe, is 8.1. Is that what your agenda is reading?
This is the property located on 208 Ferry Road. This is a property familiar to y'all. If y'all do the next slide. Still working with the property owners on this. Our city manager has approached them. They've gotten another option that they are considering, and it would be to just pave the entire lot, put a fence around it, a decorative semi-opening fence to provide definite access points, because they don't want to see anybody walking up, and it'll also keep people from driving on it, parking on it, and then of course do the nice high-end dumpster enclosures that y'all want, and put that there. So that would kind of clean that up. Now, that's where it ends with us. We fix it up, we clean it up, and then we are through with our obligation. It's up to the property owner to maintain it. This has not been 100% approved from what I understand, but it's something that is in discussion.
Mr. Jeter.
But the public will have access to that mural.
They will, but it's not going to be any planned activities. It's just going to be, you know.
But the public will be able to
Public
walk
can
up
walk
to
on
that
it, take
mural
pictures.
and take a picture without getting sand spurs all over them.
Yes, without tripping and falling. The purpose of it is to pave it, put fencing around it, close the dumpster, make it look nice. We're not obligated, there'll be no planned events or anything, and the obligation goes to the, maintaining it and keeping it goes to the property owner after that, after we fix it up.
Do we need a motion with a budget, or do we need do you have any, of that yet,
What do you
Mr. Davis?
suggest we do on this?
So
Because you've been
we'd
talking-
have to get a scope. So Ms. Alden's here and I see Mr. Gibson. The conversations that we've had were brick pavers, a hip-high decorative fence with a man gate and potentially a vehicle gate if they wanted to do food trucks on this area, potentially water, sewer, and electric hookups if they wanted to do the food trucks, fix that busted looking dumpster and the sidewalks that are all jacked up there. And that was the extent of the conversation that we had.
And I'm glad this picture includes the car that's no longer there for a very, very, very long time. I know Mr. Walker's familiar with that property across from his office. But, so yeah, good question, Mr. Jeter. I wanted, when I first saw it and I saw the beautiful mural, what that does to the public access, but also heard Mr. Davis just say a cosmetic fence that's going to go with the vibe. Okay.
A
So I
nice
think
decorative fence, not.
To answer your question, I think we'd have to put the scope together and get some bids for it and then circle back.
I think he's wanting this, no, y'all are good at doing that, and then you can get all that done, and before it gets too far ahead.
Yes, you need a motion?
Yeah. And
Mr. Barrett? I'm concerned, because this is Gibson's property there that we're talking about. And you want to get permission to pave it and do all these things and put a fence around it? How about that property over there on Perry, is it Perry and 98?
That's where the hotel's going to eventually go?
Well, I don't know, but that's part of the property there also. So why are we going to put pavers in?
Every single business in the downtown area is a
Well, that's
property.
so why are we going to put pavers and?
Because there was some action taken from this board a couple city managers ago, and it's been an ongoing conversation to try to improve this blighted property.
I remember, yeah.
And that now we have a discussion in front of this board to conceptually move forward whether or not we want it or not. And it sounds like there may be some concerns you have, which I appreciate you voicing those. But just to give you the background, is there's been some interest to improve this large parcel with the property owners' input and collaboration. So it's not just us unilaterally saying, hey, we're going to do this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Burns or Mr. Davis, but the Gibson representation has been very involved in this concept.
And I would also like to add, we put a lot of money in that mural, and people go up to that mural because they're interactive and they get pictures, you know. And I would like to provide a safer area for them to walk up to it. I have driven by there, I've seen people out there wanting to get their pictures made with it, and it would finish the area, make it look nice, and accentuate the mural and just beautify the whole area, and which would benefit the whole downtown, especially if they're going to do stuff there.
Right. Mr. Jeter.
At one point in time, we were going to lease it and pay monthly and do this same type of design, correct? Now we're just going to do this same type of design without having to lease it.
So I didn't want the ongoing lease expense and the insurance expense. I think the vision at one point in time was to put a stage there for concerts and that sort of thing. And Gibson family, rightfully so, said, hey, you're going to have to pay the insurance. And I have no interest in doing that long term. So it was just to clean it up, make it shiny.
So we've simplified it, made it cheaper, made it easier. and it's still going to be functional.
That's the vision.
Ultimately.
And it removes the ongoing obligation of the city.
The big difference, you were going to lease it and put down turf there too. It's going to be more park style. I think this is going to be more pavers, is that what you indicated? So
Again, yes, was the high-level conversation, but it could be any flavor, once we sit down and get into design.
And ultimately, the city's not going to have any obligation. They're going to build the improvement and then walk away, and it's all the headache of the landowner at that point.
To maintain it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Okay. So it sounds like there's some efforts over the past couple of years. We're getting closer to some type of win, depending on how this board so desires. All right, looking for a
So move to bring back a scope for library park.
second. All right, we got a motion and a second. Any public comment on this discussion? All right, seeing none. Rest of the board, any comments? Mr. Walker.
Coming in late, so you guys, I just caught the tail end there. There was a discussion of water, electric, maybe some food trucks.
Potentially.
Okay, and that, didn't know I was going to be able to make it here for this, so I shared my comments with you. Have you already shared those?
I shared them with Pro Tem. This is, you've heard all of the comments related.
Gotcha. I had just shared that, I wanted, not knowing if I'd make it, I shared with Mr. Davis that if I wasn't here, that I wanted to share with the group that I don't want any taxpayer money spent on private property, even though it is across from my office. And so, just hearing the tail end of it here, it sounds as though we're looking at making improvements on private property, and then that owner receives the benefit of it, of which I'm assuming he at some point can lease out food truck space to it or whatever else. So it seems as though on the good neighbor approach, I would like to see a good neighbor, or the Gibsons, whoever they may be, take a good neighbor approach and improve the property themselves and hear the plea from council and staff that it's blighted, it looks bad, and we would like for you to do something about it, because I'm also, I guess, a little concerned that a private business owner has allowed his property to become officially declared blighted, and so therefore we can spend money on it. So I'm curious if other owners would say, I'm blighted too, can you fix mine? So it'd just be a cause of concern for future spending.
There was a good conversation about that in the nuisance abatement program before you got here. Yes, they're in the CRA world. Yeah, it's statutorily obligated to improve blightiness. So that's what the conversation was about. But yes, good comments, good input.
And I also would like to add, one big process with the CRAs is a public-private partnerships. They call them P3s. That is a standard practice, is working with private owners to help improve their properties, because the improvement benefits the CRA in general and everybody around. So we do have public-private partnerships, and that is standard.
Mr. Merrill.
Somewhere in between, what do we do that's an improvement of the blightiness, and where do we cross the line of now we're pushing something forward? I love it. I would love it if there was a nice fence, access, hookups and food trucks and that all came, but that's not, to me, that goes beyond. I think we look at the paving of it, we look at the access, but if it comes down, tell me if I'm wrong, if it comes down to it's the owner's burden after that, could they then fence it and make it private and
They can do all, so the city's not going to put any obligations on them or any encumbrances. They'll be free, obviously, within the code. If they want to put food trucks in there, as long as it's under code, there's not going to be any promises made to them that they can put anything on there that they would not be allowed to do.
So then I think our requirement to follow up with what the CRA is supposed to do would be to get rid of the blightiness, which would be to make it a little bit prettier. I'm okay with that. We're doing it for other properties, other businesses. There's CRA grants for businesses that work if you want to take it further. The septic grant, the beautification grant, there's other options, but for us to just go in there and completely get them to a certain point, I don't think that is us being as responsible as we can be. So somewhere in between.
No, full disclosure, when I met with them out at the site, they offered to potentially add the hookups, but timing-wise, do it at the same time, right? Do it together. But again, without a scope, I'm not quite sure what would be in and out of scope at this point. But I mean, I get what you're saying. It's no different than the facade grants that we do or any of the CRA stuff for private business. It's
just another one in the stack of things.
Correct.
Mr. Jeter?
Yeah, we had this talk earlier, like they were saying about the nuisance abatement program, and not to repeat at 6:03, but outside of CRA with taxpayer dollars, 100% agree, it's tough to swallow. But that's what the CRA is intended to do. When you see blight, and my thing to move forward with just the scope is to continue the communication and the negotiation. If they were to come back with, you spend $250,000 on the property and we're going to fence it off and lease it, then we got a different story. But let's just continue the scope and communication to see what we can collaborate together on and come up with at that park, because it needs to be accessed somehow, some way by the public without walking through Stand and Sandsburg. We don't know what that is yet because we're on the scope of work. We're trying to get to that point. We have the property owners back at the table. We have the city manager actively communicating with them. Let's see what we can collaborate and come up with. We can always come back at the February meeting and say, that's not what we intended for at all.
Second. Oh, Mr. Deputy.
Moving forward, where we're at is the owner is willing to work, right, with the CRA. They're willing to work with the CRA.
Yeah, I mean, that's why.
That's the best, yeah, okay, so that's what I'm saying to you. For me, and I'm pretty much in support of that, because the owners are willing to, in turn, to do something. And then I understand the blight areas, and so I think it's a great program, the abatement program. Don't get me wrong on that. But I like to see the owners, taking responsibility as well. And so if the owners are willing to take responsibility, do what they say they're going to do, I'm supporting that. I think it's a good idea.
All right. Mr. Walker.
Mr. Davis, you mentioned the facade. What are the limits on the facade grants that can be, what are those limits? 10,000?
Yes, 10,000.
10,000?
50/50 matching, 10,000.
And once again, apologize for not being here. Is this one, we're talking $10,000 limits on this project here?
We have no financial impacts at this point. It's more just conceptually whether or not to move forward for them to bring us back that scope.
Gotcha. Mr. Jeter mentioned 250,000. That's why it kind of alerted me. I mean, 10,000 in line with the facade. It's going along, but I mean, man, we get $250,000 on someone's property so that they can put food trucks on it for themselves and fence it off with no obligations. We can't restrict them. Working with us is one thing, but we can't restrict them. Right.
I think none of the discussions, I think he's had negotiations so far, preliminary talks, and I don't think any type of encumbrance has been discussed. Y'all could always, if before y'all pull the trigger on the ultimate vote, which is not this vote.
Sure.
Decide y'all do want to have something like they won't resell the property within the next amount of years or something like that, similar to the CRA grants.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
A lot of that kind of stuff needs to be ironed out. Good stuff. All right. Looking for a motion.
That's not very good.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. The clerk's good with it.
Has it been amended, though? I mean, but
And that's a good question.
I tried to leave it as, how can I leave it as plain as general? I move to continue negotiation on Library Park and bring us back options for scope of work.
Yeah, and that February meeting as well.
By February.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Jeter, second by Ms. Riley.
Might be ambitious, I don't know what their travel schedule is, and so I will get back as soon as I can. February being the target date, I just, without knowing their personal agendas.
We've been talking about 3 years and I only got a year left, so.
So what you're saying, if you wait another month?
Sure.
And that's good. We're meeting, our CRA frequency is meeting every month, where there was a time where it was 2 times a year, so it's really scary. But staff is on it, city attorney's on it, the property owners are on it. Let's keep the conversation going. We have a motion by Mr. Jeter and a second by Ms. Riley. Any further comments from Mr. Jeter?
They redid it.
Or Ms. Riley? Any comments by the board?
And we'll treat that as a substitute motion, technically, since you made the original motion. Right, so.
I made the original second.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes and Mr. Burns, for keeping us straight. Let's send it. All right, motion passes unanimously. That takes us to...
The next to the last.
Go to the next to the last one. We're on item 9.
Yeah, and this is the, we have 2 annual purchase areas to do every year. One of them is into December, is our goals and objectives. I brought it to you last year. This one, we have to, y'all got the packet on it, we have to put in what we did last year where the money is, why things weren't spent, and just where we're going from that. It's just an accountability with the state. So on this one, the main thing, everything else is just for y'all to read and look at, but the main thing I need y'all to look at is, I think it's page 22 or 21 and 22, is the, it's like the last 2 pages, is the 2025 and 2026 goals and objectives, and these are the 5 projects, categories that I will be focusing on this year. And I need y'all to at least say, yes, these are good. If you want me to take something out, now's the time to let me know, because we've got to get this recorded. And in this, can you see them? Oh, keep going. There you go. Okay. So this one here are the 5 projects that I'm mainly going to focus on this year. And of course, the downtown lighting upgrades, that has already been possibly removed. But I'm still going to focus on it. It's just the budget's going to be less. So I can change that. The nuisance abatement program, we've got $150,000 in that. I can add more, take some out of the lighting and put it in the nuisance abatement. If y'all want me to. The streetscape design project, that is for Walter Martin Road. I've already talked to Kimley Horn. They're ready, set, waiting for us to move forward with redesigning Walter Martin Road. And this is for the design plan, not the actual implementation. But we want to get a nice new design plan, streetscape plan for that 1 block long radius at Walter Martin Road. And that's where we're just waiting for y'all to say, yes, go forth on that one. The septic codification and land development code, that's something I would work on, that I'd like to get in our land development code for septic strategies to be implemented within the city. That's something, of course, y'all will approve later, but I just wanted y'all to know that I would like to put this in the land development code for the city to establish when new development comes in, what their strategies are to make their areas safe. And then, of course, the final one is beautification projects, and that's going to be a lot of things like for the Clean City Initiative to see projects that would fit in that. So with this being said, the downtown lighting upgrades, I don't think we're going to need that 175. I would like to get y'all's advice on what y'all want me to do, if y'all want me to replace that with something else, or if you want me to minimize that amount and roll that money over to the other projects. You can let me know.
Can you just, how accurate does this have to be when you send it to the state?
They're gonna have to, next year, I've got to say, and this is the case, I've got to say, like last year, one of the things that was included in it is us updating and revising our CRA strategic plan. We didn't do that. We changed it.
How much did we pay to do this, or did we do this in-house?
I'm sorry, what?
We created this report to go to the state in-house too, correctly?
Yes, I do this.
Because I remember that plan we were going to update, it was like $100,000 updated, and we said, no, just copy and paste. We saved that money.
Yeah, so what I did is in this report, I put in there that that project was canceled by the CRA board, and funds were reallocated to other projects. That's all I had to do.
So if this isn't accurate, we can do that same thing. We can say the lighting.
We can change this. I can say we changed the downtown design guidelines, we changed the lighting. So I can submit this as is.
Perfect, submit it. We're going to change it.
Okay.
You need to amend it. Yeah, you can do that.
Right.
I just didn't want to submit it without y'all looking at it. You know, on it. Yes.
I'd add a comment to the beautification
You need to move to approve it, though. Y'all do need to do it.
So move to approve the performance standards and measurements to send to the state for the CRA.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Jeter, second by Mr. Browning. Mr. Jeter, any further comment?
No, sir.
Mr. Browning? Yes, sir. Any further comments from the board? That will accomplish the objective to get it in time with the state, and we can drill in and continue to drill in deeper moving forward, especially within that beautification column that we all would like to continuously improve.
Sounds good.
All right, that finishes up with that.
Yeah, Tim's got something else.
We need a vote. Motion passes unanimously. All right, Mr. Gibson.
I want to start off, so the next item on here for establishing formal procedures for CRA project on here. I want to say I love the conversations that have happened here tonight. I really appreciate all the guidance on here. This is really kind of the next step in there. I love the feedback on the agendas and stuff. We're trying to make some shifts in here. This was gonna be kind of the next step in there because, right now there's no formal procedures for, hey, I've got a great idea. Whether that be from one of the board members, the staff members, community members, however it was, to try to draft out, okay, so this is how it's gonna be played out. If it's a small dollar item, if it's creative designs, all those kinds of things like we've already been talking about there for, okay, if it's an artistic design in there, how do we want to handle those kinds of things? So trying to standardize some of that stuff in there. Honestly, for this one, I thought this was going to be the longest discussion of the night going through these procedures. What I might recommend then for this one, just because of the timing on here, is possibly working with Ms. Barnes to set up like a workshop where we can really just kind of tear it apart and work with y'all to come up with what that procedure should look like. I'm happy to go ahead and go into it now if you'd like to, but I would also be
I like that
willing to
input.
do a workshop to talk about it
If I
more
worked out
deeply.
for the better, that's really good, Mr. Gibson. Gives you the time that it deserves, because I know you've put in, the staff has put in a lot of hard work to go over some of these boundaries and guardrails of that. And yeah, let's whiteboard it and chop it up more in the workshop. So Mr. Jeter.
No, just gonna, go ahead. You were going to workshop before the next CRA meeting, and I was going to say.
Do you want to set, yeah, I was going to say, do you want to set the CRA, like a workshop before your next CRA meeting, or do you want to do it like next month in January? You just pick right before the council meetings. You do a workshop.
Ms. Riley?
I was just going to ask, Mr. Tim, when the CRA application was done, was there somewhat of a roadmap or a template on you can use to implement your procedures, or is there any guidelines you have to consider in terms of, CRA in general? Once you start implementing your procedures?
Obviously, the Florida statute governs like what can and can't be done in the CRAs, but as far as like how you take from a concept to implementation, there's really no formal guidelines out there anywhere for that kind of stuff. So this is really for us to establish
You got a lot of room to work with that. Okay,
to
all right,
really kind of try to balance we want things done immediately, and then we want input on stuff. Well, how do we prioritize stuff? So it's really to try to kind of just give us all a same set of rules so that we're playing by that. So that way we know what you guys are looking for, whether it needs to come to you or whether it's a decision we can just make at staff level, whether it's something Mr. Davis maybe makes the decision on. Well, it's really to figure that kind of stuff out on there.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
I love the new agenda, like you said, and there's a lot of discussion up here tonight on the procedure. So I think this is spot on, and it is going to take a little bit of time. Ms. Kim, when are the January meetings? Do we have those yet?
We've got one the 13th, but we're going to ask for.
Actually, the litigation counsel for the special shade meeting indicated he'd like to move that back maybe to February. And so I was going to announce that during the regular meeting.
So the 13th is available, or the 27th at 4.
So if we did a workshop in January, this would allow you time to get feedback to bring this back corrected by February.
Yep.
So moved to do a workshop prior to a regular council meeting at any time in January. I'm fine either one. That gives you time.
Absolutely, yeah, I mean, we're ready whenever, so I mean, if you want to pick a date now.
Prefer
then-
13th was that space that just opened up with
at 5 p.m.
their council needing to move it to February.
So move to schedule a workshop on the 13th prior to the regular meeting.
4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock? What time's the meeting after that?
6.
Okay, and we would just be discussing this?
Just this.
And so that gives us 2 hours, and if there's other whiteboard things that you want to put into there, because if we got 2 hours to discuss the procedures, I know you could go very, or we could go in, so that gives us time.
And I'll just throw out there real quick also, so that was going to be kind of one of the segues into an idea that came up to basically create a landscaping master plan for the entire CRA. So again, that's one of those ideas that came in from the community. It's not really on our budget or anything like that, but that's where it was going to be, hey, we establish these processes, then an idea like that would be there. So yeah, that was just something we're looking at now, the new idea, but without these processes, we really don't have the guidelines for how to go.
This is good stuff, Mr. Gibson. So we got a motion to have a workshop on January 13th at 4 o'clock. Looking for a second. Thank you, Mr. Merrill. All right, Mr. Jeter, any further comments?
Workshops, I'm not sure how many we've had over the last 3 years, but the workshops are very productive. When you can focus on just one item, everybody come open-minded and throw your thoughts out there. The workshops are normally very productive, so look forward to it.
Mr. Merrill. Any other further comments? All right, let's go to a vote. Okay, that passes unanimously. Ms. Burns, or Ms. Barnes, excuse me.
Before you adjourn quickly,
Do we have until like 6:30 so we can get the meeting set up and confirm the later until 6:30 this weekend?
Good for you, Mr. Alvarado? All right, good for you. All right, before we adjourn, I'd like to go through one at a time. Mr. Browning, anything to add? Okay, Mr. Berry?
I love the new agenda, love all the discussion, very productive, look forward to the next one.
Mr. Merrill? Ms. Roberts?
I'm good. Thank you, sir.
I would just like to conclude, continue to contact your non-emergency hotline to work with our staff, very customer service oriented. The goal and objective with CRA is to improve the blighedness, and our team can't identify it without someone helping to identify it. Once it's identified, they'll get after it. So please continue to contact the non-emergency hotline. And if there is no further comments by any of the charter officers, we're good, Mr. Davis? All right, meeting adjourned.